has been around for a very, very long time. And for pretty much that entire time, people have been saying that it was dying. Now, here we are in 2025. People are saying the same thing. But my question is, should we be optimistic? Because from where I sit, signs are pointing in that direction. In order to have this conversation, though, in order to answer that question, we had to reach out to somebody who has their finger on the pulse of the health of the comic book industry, somebody who has a hand, actually, in trying to keep this baby up, trying to keep it alive, trying to keep it happy. We have Mr. Prana Direct Market Solutions himself. Mr. Adam Freeman has joined us. Adam, thank you for being here.
I wish I'd done the hold fast knuck tattoos for that intro, because that feels like what we're into. I love it, man. I feel like we're into an action movie today. Let's go.
Yes, absolutely. Got to set the stage and tell the story. Adam, how you feeling? It's been a while since we've had you on here. It's good to see you.
Oh man, I'm feeling good. I was just telling your crew before we got started that I might have forgotten we were doing this, so I may have just gotten out of bed. So you're getting Saturday morning baritone, Adam, which is
hey, yeah.
The sound quality is going to be on point.
ASMR.
No, things are fantastic. The comic shops are doing incredibly well. We're seeing huge increases across the board. We are pushing some really amazing programs through Prana right now. We've got a nice list of clients. It's real difficult to complain, both on a company level and on an industry level. Things are really starting to burn really well. So yeah,
I love that. I love that as a precursor to the big conversation that we're going to have today. And I think that in a way we can all feel it. We can all feel it, even just as listeners, or excuse me, as readers. You can just feel that things are good right now. You can feel that there's a buzz in a way that there's not always a buzz in comics. So there's a lot to be excited about. Kicking us off, though, in the chat is Entertain Me gifting 5 channel memberships. I love to see it. Marco, why don't you rattle those off for me?
We got Harris Pergero, Pete Collins, Nuki Brown, Nerdy Geek, and the American Patriot Report.
The American Patriot Report.
I don't know. I think you can't discount Nuki Brown.
I like
Brown on a Saturday morning. Come on in.
Speaking of Saturday mornings, you guys know what happens when one of you gifts channel memberships on this channel. We gift them right back. So, Marco, if you're ready with that, please gift those channel memberships, and let's bring some more people into the fold.
Here we go. Firing off right now. Let's see what we got. Got DV.
Mysterious.
Henry C. Hey. Chomp D. Don't even worry. And Shrez.
All right, I'm calling nepotism here.
Whoa, hold on a second.
Did you just gift one to your family?
It was unintentional. We'll have to turn off the automatic gifting feature.
Yeah, you got to turn off the nepotism feature in YouTube settings.
Yeah. Enjoy that early access to everybody who received it.
That nipple filter.
So I want to make sure I say that the goal for the GOAT game is up. We will play the GOAT game. We have never missed it once since we started. $5 or more super chats are going to get us there. We need 10 of those to secure the game. Last week, we got to the game in the first half of the show. We secured it in the first half of the show. So let's do that again this week. Love that for us. Also, I want to make sure to say this early in the episode. That way you all hear it. And Tyler, I'm going to make some announcements right now. We are lucky enough next week to have not one, but 2 big guests coming on the show. And I want to make sure you guys know this now. That way you can set yourselves up. Next Tuesday, we are going to be joined by one of my favorites. I've been searching for this interview for 2 years. We finally got it. David Harper of Sketched and Off Panel. I love this man. I love his interviews. I love his insightfulness. He cares about this industry. It's going to be so much fun to sit and talk with him.
Nice
I love
jackets
that.
too.
I love David. He is wonderful. Yeah, you know what? Little known secret. I know we're going to talk about this later. We're working on Comics the magazine. There was a very early time where I thought David was going to be like one of our heads. There it is.
Yeah. Yes.
So he is. You know, he's got an open door for us, man. I love David. He's incredible.
Yeah, chill dude.
David is fantastic. He's got some big interviews that he's working on, so we're going to be able to talk a little bit about those, hopefully, and just, you know, state of industry stuff. But then the other interview that we've got, so that's Tuesday at 6. The other interview that we've got is so juicy. Wednesday, we're coming at you back to back.
Is
Wednesday,
it this Wednesday or the
6 p.m.
following Wednesday, Sean?
isn't it? Oh no,
the following-
yeah, it's next.
Yeah.
It's the following Wednesday. So
Yep.
next Wednesday, we're going to be joined by Joshua Williamson.
There it is.
Yes.
We teased it on Palace Polls on Thursday. But
Oh,
That's right.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's you know, riding high right now. The Iron Man announcement for Marvel. He's doing Night Fight, Superman at DC, G.I. Joe over at Energon. So we're gonna get to dig in with him on all that good stuff. So Wednesday the 19th.
Yep.
Yeah. So lots of fun stuff happening. Adam. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah,
buddy.
I had you know, it's a Saturday morning here, so the people coming in and out with pastries, and I just want to make sure.
Oh, man, I want people coming in and out of my room with pastries.
Yeah, what kind of pastries you getting this morning?
Oh, I think there's a cherry cheese.
Oh.
Oh man, there's this
Oh.
bakery that does
Ooh.
these cherry and almond and cheese Danish that just incredible.
That sounds good.
Oh man. Anyway, sorry. Anyway,
Oh,
that's
it's beautiful.
and that's what it has waiting for me after this. So just know that that's when the light turned on for me.
I'm still running off 1 a.m. halal food right now, so
Ooh.
I think,
Oh no.
That hits pretty good,
I
honestly.
think I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys? I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into politics or anything, but have you seen the Mr. Cardamom rap video?
Yeah,
Then-
I have. Yeah.
I had never seen it until last night, and just thinking about halal food. of course.
Yeah. People wearing a shirtless with an apron is interesting.
I know. Yeah, it's rare that we get to see our politicians wear shirtless, wearing an apron,
Yep.
and making halal food, but it's good. It's a good thing. It's a
Okay.
good thing. We should have that for everybody, I think. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
There's a very limited amount of politicians I would like to see shirtless. Very limited amount.
Got it. Newt
Yes.
Gingrich up there? No, we're not doing it. We're not going there.
Not
Nope.
Newt, not Dick, not Bush, none of them.
God.
Yeah. We did
Well
have a
done.
Dick and Bush administration.
we
We did.
absolutely did.
We sure
That's
did.
funny.
We absolutely did. It was fun. Okay.
Yeah,
Hi.
fun. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
speaking of fun, let's talk about the shared fun that we all have every single week, which is reading and engaging in comics. It's probably our favorite hobby. It's my favorite hobby.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those kinds of things where, for me, and I guess that's why I ended up doing a podcast, it's very hard to just be a fan. I love the industry. I love the people who work in it. You come to know the names of the writers and artists who make the books that you enjoy, and all of a sudden it feels like you have a connection with them. So you develop an investment in this industry. I think most people, and Adam can speak to this, who end up working in comics love the industry deeply because ain't nobody getting in here for money, right?
Oh, that's true. That's very true. I mean, it's like anything. There's a handful of people that, find that 1% that are that can get rich. It's like the old joke about, it's an easy place to get rich. It's a really hard place to make a living. But that's exactly what comics is. We all love it so much that we would do it for free, and many of us do, so yeah, that's it is. That's exactly it. And we all get involved in the industry as a result of that. It just the frog finds the water boiling around them before you know it. So.
That's what Comic-Con looks like. A bunch of frogs boiling,
Exactly.
running around.
It smells like it sometimes.
But this, I gotta say, Adam, like this year at Comic-Con, it really felt like there was a buzz that was positive and palpable
Yeah.
in a way that I haven't felt in a while, but you're much more entrenched than me. So what did it feel like this year for you at New York Comic Con?
It felt like hopeful. It felt hopeful. And I think that there's this really interesting thing that's happening in comic shops right now, which is that they are just killing it. We just showed on Comic Industry Insiders, we showed some data that we're seeing from one of our POS providers or partners that says the stores themselves are 18% year over year, which is incredible, right? I'm talking to stores that are, I got one here, I got a little post-it here. 32 years in business was doing 40% over last year.
Wow.
That's an incredible piece, because you don't, I mean, when you're that mature, you don't grow like that. So the stores themselves are doing incredibly well. 27% year over year for single issue sales, right? Who's that coming from? That's some absolute Batman right there, right?
Yeah.
It's DC and Marvel. The weird part about that though is all that growth seems to be coming from that top end of the tail, meaning DC and Marvel are both doing really well. DC absolutely killing it. And it is because of that though that the sales are coming up. We're not seeing the same growth for like even many of the Image titles, but definitely anybody in the creator-owned kind of space underneath the big three. They're not seeing that same growth. They're seeing stability, but they're not seeing growth. So I think that where we are right this second is we're just beginning to, as an industry, see the beginning of the dogman generation getting their first jobs and finding comic shops.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That made me feel old. Cool.
Yeah, right. Well, welcome, Betty, because that's just the first volley. It's coming for you, my friend.
Oh,
When your head looks like mine, when your beard looks this gray, we've gone through this a few times. But that dogman generation is going to be like that's a whole generation of kids that is still not stopping, right? That just started off reading with comics. Comics was normal for them. It wasn't oh well, okay, our teacher was forced to use a graphic novel, and it was from the beginning. Comics was real for them, and they're just discovering that comic shops are out there and they can go in once a week and it's a part of their culture and it can be part of their habits. Like that discovery, that is going to change the whole industry for a decade, if not more. So I think we have a long run ahead of us, and I think that the creator owns and everybody else is going to begin to feel that rise, that rising tide in a very real way.
Well, as you were speaking about that, because we had heard that creator owned was a little soft, it made me think about 2005, 2006. Things really started to heat up for the big two.
Yep.
And then we saw just a handful of years later, things started to scorch in the creator owned space. So I'm thinking that space just follows Marvel and DC. So when they get hot, maybe a couple years later, we start to see the other ships rising.
Ding, ding, ding. And I mean, it makes sense for all of us, right? We go in, we say, oh, I love Batman. I'm gonna read Batman. Oh, the brand new Batman that I can start from zero. Yep. Great, let's go. Let's start with Batman. And then you go, oh, well, this is so good. Who is this guy? Scott Snyder? Oh, okay. Well, he writes some other shit. All right. Well, I'm gonna go look for that. Oh, I'm sorry.
You can curse.
You good for cursing?
You're fine. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, potty mouth. Anyway, so they go and find other stuff that he has done. And then suddenly, as a result of that, they start discovering, oh, wait, the things I love are because of the creators I love.
Right.
And that's where creator owned start growing. And it just, I mean, we've gone through this cycle a few times. We've definitely gone through it at least 3 or 4 times in my career. So I'm not at all surprised to see that this is where it's happening. And like I said, if I was looking to build creator owns right now, this would be a really great time to get ahead of the game.
Right.
You know?
And those rising tides don't show immediately. That takes a bit for those connections to be made with the readership.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This whole generation has to understand that the thing they love is not Batman. The thing they love is Scott Snyder. And that's going to take a minute. And it's just the nature of that beast. I went through it. I thought I remember there was very clearly, and this is going to show my age, there was a moment when I saw a picture of Denny O'Neil, and I was so disappointed because in my mind he looked like Bruce Wayne. Instead of being this pasty old white bald guy, he was. I thought he was just this ruggedly handsome black head of hair. No. But that's just it. I began to understand that they were people. And by understanding they were people, like Frank Miller did Dark Knight Returns. Oh, what else does he do? And I was part of that like Sin City generation that just was, on rabid for that work. And we all go through that in our own time. But the thing about comics that we have now that we did not have then was, this is for me is what, early 90s, right? I'm reading Frank Miller for the first time. Sin City's starting to come out, but like, what else do I read? Okay, well, here's Watchmen. Oh my God, let's read some Alan Moore. Okay, now what? Here's Mouse. These are 3 books that came out in 1985, 1986. All right, what else is serious? Well, you kind of have to wait for something new to come out,
right?
As opposed to this generation, this long tail generation that's going to walk in the store and have just an incredible banquet, right? And so what we're going to see, I think, is we are going to see an incredible increase of overall sales, but I don't think we're going to see as many hits. I mean, they're going to be the sagas, the Absolute Batmans. Those hits are going to happen, but for the most part, it's going to be like a literal rising tide, where we don't see, we have a whole bunch of stuff that just starts selling better, and that just selling better is how you build businesses, right? That's how you build lines, and it's also how you build careers as creators. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, that you talk about building careers. Whose career has been built more just off the back of the last year than Nick Dragotta?
Oh my God,
his line at New York Comic Con was, I never saw Nick himself. And just there's too many people every time he was around there.
And I remember very clearly, where was it? C2E2. I was introduced to Nick Dragotta, and what are you working on? And he's Absolute Batman. Oh, that sounds cool. What is it? And he shows it, and I'm like, what the fuck is with the symbol? What the hell? Yeah. This guy's too big. It's too big. It's never gonna work. Yeah. Oh well, what do I know?
But I love that you say that, because what I think it shows is that DC was looking outside of the norm and outside of the typical to make something pop. Yeah. And you have to give credit where credit is due. I think DC, 100%. I think Scott Snyder, I think Nick Dragotta, I think Marie Javins, they all have their heads on a swivel looking at the rest of the world and going, listen, it's not true that kids aren't reading. It's not true that young people don't read. They're just not reading this. So what do we have to do to get them to read this?
Also, there's a whole generation of kids now that has been raised digital. I have I'm an 11-year-old this month. Wow. And he's been reading since he was tiny, but he wants physical. I mean, he's a real digital kid. He's had an iPad his entire life, but he wants physical. And I've got a 20-year-old who, like, she buys vinyl. She doesn't have a turntable, but she buys vinyl because she wants something physical. Yes. Cassette tapes are having a day. People are buying cassette tapes. I can tell you, as a child of the 90s, there was the cassette tapes sucked. They did. Right? I was in my 20s in the 90s, rather. I was in my teens in the 80s, and they get awful. They are the worst possible medium, and yet the people want something physical. They want liner notes. They want that. They want the item, the thing.
When I saw CDs,
part of why we're building a magazine.
I saw CDs coming back, and I was like, why? The vinyl, I understood. There's a quality there.
Exactly.
But
CD, and the CD was just like bad streaming.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a collector's aspect that people want. They want to be able to see it.
Thing they can hold, right? And I think maybe that's it. We're just so used to treating our media as though it's completely disposable. Not even disposable. Like, you don't even have to dispose it. You consume it, and then it's never in your life again.
Yeah.
Right. It's never a part of you. And for generations, you would have to go and buy something and take it home, and you would watch it, and you would watch it again. You would watch it again. It became part of your identity, this item. Right. That's why we have, bookshelves. because we have these things that are part of who we are. And I think that we're getting back to that in a way that is surprising to me, because I just thought that we're all going to walk around with meta glasses on or something. So.
Apple Provisions.
Exactly.
Yeah, that flopped.
Speaking of wanting to have things physically, one of the drivers of sales in comics right now is blind bags.
Crazy.
And
yeah, I called that, by the way.
Did you?
2020, I came out of what is that Culture Con? Shoot, I can't remember. Anyway, there's like a sneaker and streetwear fashion thing that happens in LA.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
can't remember. Anyway, it was just before, it was the last one before COVID. Anyway, saw the people doing box breaks of trading cards, and I said, we have to bring this to comics. We have to. I think it's going to be like 3 copies per book, and then you get some, but they're just a single issue. It totally makes sense, but also there's some real challenges in the production. But anyway, I interrupted you. Please go for it.
No, that's fantastic, and I believe you predicted it. That's very easy to believe because you clearly have the pulse on these things.
I try. Yeah, I try. Yeah, the real challenge right now, if you really want to interested in this, the real challenge that all of these producers are having is that trading cards have been doing blind bags, right? They've been in card packs. They've been doing this for a couple generations now. Comics publishers while many of them are printers, rather, many of them actually do have divisions where they do trading cards. They're not used to the idea of something being random, right? We've never really successfully done that. Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction did a really good job of doing it, but they had to go to the printer in order to do that. So when they did their sex criminals book that was blind bagged, they were able to do it because they went to the printer and basically physically inserted books. Like they had to do that piece. Nobody's really doing that right this second. They haven't figured out a way to industrialize it. So all of the especially DC, and we have one of our clients is Gary Vaynerchuk and V Friends, and they've been doing these blind bags, and they struggle because the printers aren't used to randomizing these things. So you'll buy, the whole idea is that as a blind bag, you could buy 10 copies of the same book, thinking, all right, I'm going to get the special one. If I open 10 copies, I'm going to get the golden ticket. But if they haven't been randomized, you're either going to get 10 of the golden tickets or you're going to get 10 of the not golden tickets.
Sure. Yeah.
So we still have some iteration to go on the production side for this, but I think this, I'm really bullish on these blind bags. I think that we've got another at least 2 to 3 years of these being a thing. Everybody keeps saying the bubble's going to pop. Nah, we're not even close to this bubble popping. It's going to go for a bit.
Now, just for context, blind bags really hit the mainstream comic book marketplace through Invincible Battle Beast, which, I mean, that number one, that was so brilliant, and the way that they handled it. I mean, Skybound, but everything that Skybound does, I feel like they do right.
Yeah. I think it's top down. Robert loves this industry as much as he loves comics. I mean, he really could have just said, fuck all y'all, I'm going to go be Hollywood now.
Sure.
But he just loves the comics industry so much that he hasn't built a team that is constantly tinkering with the comics industry and how it works. And that was just an understanding. That was just a real understanding of how all this works, is the way that was built. It's incredible. Yeah, it was a masterpiece. I mean, and we're talking about like a spin-off of a series.
Yeah.
Right. We're not even talking about something that was like a big one. It could have been nothing. It could have been a nothing burger, this launch, but it was such a hit because he understood the mechanics of how the industry itself worked.
And here's the ridiculous thing. This is the ridiculous thing, and this is why there are a lot of people who are down on blind bags, and I understand, because obviously the 90s gimmicks was a mess. Got it. But here's the thing. Battle Beast launched on a gimmick. The number one sold crazy off the back of a gimmick, but we've got the ICV2 top 50 ranking for October, and Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 6
Yeah.
is on this list in the 12th position.
Yeah.
Number 6.
It's the only like indie. It's the highest indie book that's not an already established IP like Transformers.
Mark Spear's Blind Bags, the Monsters book is on
Forgot
here,
about that one
but
too,
we know about why that is. But yeah, absolutely.
Man, is there a story in the Mark Spears rise to power? It's such an incredible. I really want to do. Part of me wants to do these like 20-minute documentary like explainer videos where we just dig deep on somebody like where the hell did Mark Spears come from?
Yeah,
But
see,
yeah.
Adam, okay, so for those of you who don't know, Adam has a channel called Comic Book Industry Insiders. I love it. I watch. They're live every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. I am seated every Tuesday. You and Brian, I love the way that you guys talk about this industry. It's the kind of stuff we can't do because A, we're a bunch of goofballs, but B, we don't have the expertise that you guys have. So if you all in the listening world like this kind of conversation, they go in depth in a way that we really just can't over on Comic Book Industry Insider. So I would highly recommend subscribing. Again, not just the live videos, but they also drop some interviews and you get nuggets and gems. It's great stuff. So check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. That info that Adam was talking about regarding 18, I think he said 18% year over year, all that stuff we reported on here because of you.
That's excellent.
Absolutely. So you guys are pushing that knowledge out first, and then it's hitting channels like ours. We're one of the few channels that even covers this kind of stuff.
Well,
but it's you guys that's coming first.
I'm telling you, something I'm working on right this second. And I'm hoping to have it out in the next couple weeks. We should see. I want to make sure that I'm getting a constant stream. The numbers that you were talking about earlier, the Comic Hub ICV2 numbers, I actually helped put that deal together when I worked with Comic Hub. So I know where those numbers come from, and I will say that it is a disappointingly small cohort that they get those numbers from. And I won't talk about how small, but it is not as large as you think it is. So we are working on something that's a much larger cohort, much larger group. I would say that we're right this second, we're pulling data from, in one form or fashion, we're pulling data from just over 400 stores. And we're going to be able to start, I think you should call me on this if I don't do it by say the end of the year. Okay. I think we're going to start being able to report in our newsletter, at least, if not on our website. We'll be reporting every week. So
wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think that's knock wood. That's where we're heading. But yeah, right this second, I think it's those, getting back to the subject at hand. Yes, please do subscribe to Comic Industry Insiders, live every Tuesday, and we do long form interviews every Thursday. Is those blind bags, man, I think it goes towards this understanding that we're selling fun more than we sell story, we sell culture, we sell narrative, right? We sell all of those things when we sell comics. We're also selling fun, and I'm all for 90s gimmicks. I think that they were so much fun. We had such a good time back then. I think that had the 90s happened after the 90s almost had to happen in the way it did in order for us to get to a place where we have so much incredibly well-crafted work, right? Because we had to go through that period in the mid 90s, early 90s, where it was just about, let's just get this shit out the door. Let's, Rob Liefeld can do the same page 8 different ways on the, using a light box and just changing the characters. I love you, Rob, if you're watching. But like they can do number one after number one after number one after number one and never have to do number 2. And eventually you're going to turn that audience off, right? That audience who's buying 20, 50 a case at a time of these books, you're going to turn them off. What we now have right now is an industry that has gone through that, understands that, and is now creating serious work, is making work that will hold up and make you go read number 2. And I think if you're using that, then what you're seeing where you see exquisite corpses, right? Or
Mhm.
you see like Battle Beast, right? You can use a big gimmick, a big flashy gimmick to get it in a bunch of hands because it's so good. Number 2 is going to sell itself.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's where we are. Is that I am all for let's go gimmicky. Let's go lenticular. Let's go chromium. I don't, whatever it takes, man, to get
Okay, hold
people
on.
really excited,
Chromium? I don't know about that one.
I want to pause right now to put an underline on what you just said because it's critical.
Sure.
And this is what I've been saying. The difference between now and the gimmicks now and in the 90s is what is between the covers in the books. That is the difference. When you pick up that first issue of Battle Beast, you are getting, if you get the first issue, because some people didn't get it. I got the Invincible Spider-Man, so I didn't even get the first issue out that blind bag. But if you got that first issue, you read it and you go, wait a second. Holy shit. This is really good. Ryan Stegman, this is really amazing. Otley, excuse me, Jesus. You go, this is amazing. Otley. Kirkman doing his thing, and then you buy the next one, and you buy the one after that. I don't know about fucking Invincible. I never read that, but I'm loving Battle Beast. I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
From what I know, 90s were the gimmick was the book, whereas the gimmick now is just to get your foot in the door.
I would say that the gimmick, the gimmick was the book, but it was also the style, right? We were really very much about artistic style back then. The reason that Image was able to do what it was doing, and you look at that first crew of Image creators, they were artists, right? They weren't necessarily, writers. They were artists, and they each had such a unique style that would sell. Todd McFarlane could sell Spider-Man like nobody else could sell Spider-Man because he did it. He had a unique point of view on Spider-Man. And so they brought this stylistic change to comics, and that was super exciting. And so we used that style, and then on top of it, we put gimmicks, and then those gimmicks sold number 1s, and then we're like, well, why would we want to do number 2s? I'm gonna spend my time doing number 1s, right? And that's not how you get people back in the stores. The value prop of the stores is that I have a subscription, you have a subscription, you're going to come in, you're going to see the same story every month, and you're going to build a relationship with the people at the stores, and you're going to have that interaction, and that's what makes the direct market so strong. And so when you lose that value prop of I'm coming back for number 2, you lose the magic. And I think that's really where we went wrong in 93, 94 was you just forgot that the magic was bringing them back next month,
And also back then the Comics Pals wasn't around. So
that's a good point. I mean, honestly, seriously.
Marco was still not even alive yet. You were still percolating. You were one of your dad's swimmers at that point.
Wasn't even a thought. But to the point that you're making, I think, and now what they're doing, and for example, I actually just have it in front of me. They're thinking about bringing people back to the store, right? I have this Dark Side card, the Watchtower security break, DC. That panel, phenomenal. The newspaper that was there that you could pick up, like all the to that point about physical media. That is now the kind of attractor for a lot of people, bringing them back and retaining. And now you have the added element of a bit of risk in how you purchase the book because there's a bit of accessibility. There's a bit of abundance in the comics industry right now, so you take advantage of those things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just it. We're poised like at the beginning of a cultural wave. And I know, man, there's something that gets me excited to get out of bed every morning. And it's just, it's time. It is time.
And I gotta imagine, like, especially like the absolute side of things, it's probably gotta excite DC when the strength of things like Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman allows a book like a Martian Manhunter to be the best-selling Martian Manhunter series of all time. And like I see so much Martian Manhunter cosplay on my Twitter feed now. It probably helps because Dennis Camp is online.
Sure.
But like that. I've never seen that for him in my entirety of comics like fandom before. So like now the IP of characters that maybe weren't as big can also, it's not even just the rising tides help, it's helping the IP as well. So the business side of things has to be a little exciting for that.
And I will tell you, you want to talk about a team that is murdering this opportunity. Those guys are killing it.
Yeah.
And here's a little behind the scenes thing. The last time DC had the kind of volume that they have right now, their staff was 3 times the size that it is. So that small team, that like skeleton crew, is managing this cultural wave, and you see them. I swear, I met with 3 of them over at New York Comic Con, and then I think I saw one at Baltimore. They just look ragged.
It's a scrappy team.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
And
I weighed that risk.
Nancy Spears, who runs that team, even she is like, she's incredible. I love you, Nancy, if you're seeing this, but man, they just look tired. They all kind of had that 1,000-yard stare, and I don't know that it's changing anytime soon, because they're not going to stop killing it. And who knows? Hopefully, they'll be able to hire some people. And
it's going to be known as the absolute stare going forward.
That's the absolute stare.
And I guess from our end, we can kind of attest to they're at least seemingly picking the right people. The 3 of us had a conversation where we bumped into you, Adam, at the DC booth, and we ended up talking to one of the reps for maybe half an hour about the stuff that he's interested in. That he was getting a sample from our end, hey, you guys as one consumers, but also people who are talking about this thing, like, how are you feeling about X, Y, and Z? So that way I can kind of internalize that, and in our marketing or in our communications towards people, we can start to adjust and cater. That is intention. All of that is deliberate, and they're learning the right lessons, I think.
I think so. I'm really excited to see how DC grows. I mean, we're reaching a point where finally, it's been a long time since they reached parity with Marvel, and Marvel is the king of the tricks, right? They know how many covers to put out to maintain their market lead. But I think that even with those tricks, I think DC is going to take them next year.
Really?
Unless Marvel really pulls something out, right? Because we don't know what's on the other side of Ultimate for them. But
I have a question for you about Marvel. And one that's kind of interesting to me. I feel like DC is really putting a creator focus on their books right now. Sure. Like Williamson, Snyder, everything on the absolute end. Whereas I feel Marvel is putting character focus first rather than creators. And I think they're a little gun shy about hyping up creators because of what happened in 2010s when their architects all kind of just bounced to do creator-owned stuff and not wanting that to happen again.
Well, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's a cycle, right? Yeah. We go through seasons. And as we said, we're going to go through a season where they're going to, if they have a hit, they're going to create the next superstar. And that superstar is not going to settle. But look at somebody like Mark Millar, right? Or Mark Miller, depending on where you are in the world. Like that guy goes in and out. He spends all of his time doing his Miller Universe stuff, but he also will he kind of steps in and out. He's a player that you can put on the stage as a guest star for a while, and then he'll step away. Same for Grant Morrison, right? He's always going to be part of our lives until he is done, until he's can't put it together cohesive thought because he's done too many hallucinogens. But he's always going to be coming in and out and creating that value. But you can't be too gun shy about that. I mean, yes, Spider-Man is always going to be the thing that sells the tickets, right? Wolverine is always going to be selling tickets. But if you're not creating that next generation, you're not going to get that next Wolverine.
Sure.
Right. You're not going to get that next X-23 or whomever. It's just not going to show up. So you have to invest in those creators. And I think they know that, but it's also, man, we could do an entire hour on the Marvel editorial procedure, like how just the political mechanics of behind the scenes of how that whole crew works.
Yeah. We might need to do that hour. We might need to do that hour.
Well, and I feel like Marvel is very, they've really capitalized on the globalization of comics and creators and artists specifically.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And because of that, like there's a lot of different artists in Marvel books.
Yeah. Well, and you'll see them because we look so hard at the data. I've seen kind of understand now a little better of their strategy. They will find an artist they like, and then just pump them up and make them into a superstar. And so you'll see an artist that does pretty well on a cover, and then you'll see 8 covers from them, like over the next 3 months. And so one of the things that we're doing with Comics and Magazine, we haven't really talked about that yet, but one of the things that we're doing is talking about what we're calling the pull box power rankings. And we're going to be looking at who is the hottest cover artist.
Oh, okay.
Generally speaking, the hottest cover artist is whoever Marvel has decided is the hottest cover artist. Now, don't get me wrong, right this second, I think it is Nick Dragotta, because the absolute of it all. But like they can create a star almost inside of like 3 months if they want to, which is really interesting once you start decoding that strategy.
Yeah, and would you say that works primarily for artists?
Primarily. Yeah, I haven't really seen them create writers that way. Yep. I would say that they do like that sort of, they like seemingly recruiting from that, I don't know, kind of how do I put this? What's a good metaphor? Like a minor league. They kind of like watching the minor leagues of indie comics and then bringing in writers and then trying them out. And if they work, you get a little more work. That is a little more organic, I think, for them than the artist. The artist, they can just find somebody in Brazil and go, all right, you are the next, you're the next superstar.
Yeah, like Ricky Agawa is doing a ton of these Age of Revelation covers, and honestly, I fucking love them. Yeah. And then Marvel still does the Stormbreakers, so they will actually put their artists on blast, being like, "Hey, these are the ones to look out for."
Exactly.
They don't do the architects anymore.
No.
Yeah. So it's focusing on the art rather than the writer. Yeah.
Because that's easier, I guess, easier to control would be my guess. I don't know. I'm at that point, I'm just trying to decode strategy from tea leaves, and I'd hate to do that to them. I mean, they may have, it might be a completely different strategy for them, but you talk to them, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing in putting out extra covers and all the stuff all those games that they play. They know. And there's always people inside who are like, we should focus on this instead of that. And there's chatter, there's conversation, and that conversation, adjusts their strategy as they go. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fascinating crew. It always has been. It's been, I've never worked there, but I've known so many people who have, that I have this, like, I don't know, it could be a complete soap opera, going on inside of my head, but I feel like for them, it's the same soap opera. So, yeah.
So first of all, I want to say thank you to the over 100 people who are with us live right now. You guys are fantastic. Listening to a conversation about the industry. I love that you guys show up for these big picture conversations. We've trained them at them.
I love it. I can't get 100 people live. I mean, we do after, because our show goes out to like 6 different platforms, and it's not 100 people that are live in the moment, but I mean, over a week or so, we'll hit probably 1,000 between all those platforms. But like, still, it's crazy that you get that 100 people up that early on a Saturday morning.
New York Comic Con needs to let us do a panel. We have panels every Saturday at this point.
100%.
Yeah. Yep.
It's gonna happen. Atomic Hound, though, dropping $9.99 on us. Thank you so much, buddy. I know you've been waiting a while for us to get to this. What you're describing is definitely playing out in my LCS. This week is Absolute Batman Annual, which is getting a lot of first-time comics buyers. Love to see it. Welcome back, Adam.
Thank you. Well, I'm happy. Data don't lie, right? It's it's telling you what's happening in real time, and that's just it. We're all just trying to decode this, right? We're all just trying to get a feeling for how the spider web is tingling and deciding where it's coming from. So yeah, man, so many metaphors this morning. Let's go.
Metaphor morning. Now, also, by the way, Atomic Hound dropping that gives me an opportunity to remind you guys that we do have super chats are open. And of course, the GOAT game will be played if we get to 10 out of 10 on that goal in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you are not. We are on the road to 6K. We will hit it by the end of the year with your help. Jack G's been a member for 2 months of the Comics Pals VI Pal tier. Thank you so much, Jack. He says, hey, pals, I wanted to let you know that I left some fun video ideas in yesterday's YouTube comments section. Love the convos as always. Jack, I read your messages. I read every message. Thank you so much for the ideas. Putting together supercut compilations of reviews that we already did is a bit of a laborious task. We tried it. The numbers weren't what we wanted. So if you want us to do more things like that, you got to go watch our Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Batman supercuts, because otherwise we're just not going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Editing's a beast. It's the
tough.
hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have expectations. You know, our videos need to do certain things, and so you guys got to get those over the hump if you want more. So we talk about the sales numbers on this channel pretty frequently. And we'll look at ICV2 and we'll look at, you know, what they push out for Comic Hub and stuff like that. And this month, October, I should say, you know, we were all really looking forward to what the top 50 would look like, just because October was such a bloodbath, right? Like
Yeah.
you had KO, you had Absolute Batman, you had the annual, there was so many big books that came, Absolute Evil, so many big books that came out. Adam, how much of your, not how much of your day, but like, do you put stock into these numbers? Do they read significant to you at all? I know that it's a small sample size.
Yeah, I go through seasons. I go through seasons where I will watch this every week and I'll look at it and really try and understand those tea leaves. Now I dip in and out of the numbers when I'm trying to understand something. Right. So I'm trying to look for a comp, or I'm trying to get a feeling for what incentives or what programs are working or that sort of thing. So on a month-to-month basis, I don't really follow the horse race as much anymore. But as we are getting to a point where we're starting to report on these POS systems, I'm sure that it's going to become I love a good soap opera. So I'm sure I'll probably get drawn into it just the same way you guys do. But, I also just kind of absorb it too. Like I've been doing this now for longer than Marco's been alive. And I think I've talked to or been a comics retailer every working day of my career.
Wow.
So I just can't not hear what's going on. There will be months where I won't go into a comic shop, but I could tell you what's happening in there. So yeah. Yes and no is the answer.
Okay. Let's talk about Comics the Magazine.
All right, let's do it. Comics the Magazine.
So and that's the proof of concept. Adam was at New York Comic Con running around, and I say this affectionately, like a chicken with his head cut off, pumping I'm just kidding, pumping the Comics the Magazine, which is super cool. We were all lucky enough to get a copy to look through and check out, and it's an amazing idea.
I am some money on eBay, by the way. Good on you for not going after that cash and still having your copies.
Oh, is it?
Listen,
okay. Well, no.
Rent's due, brother.
I know.
No, but I didn't grow up in this era, but I have an affinity for the era of comics where there were these magazines that were really cool, that had interviews with all the big, editors at the big two. Jeanette Kahn would do an interview, and you could get in the heads of these people.
Right.
I love that.
Wizard Magazine, right?
Yep. Wizard Magazine.
Hey, nice.
Right?
That was the thing, right?
Yeah.
I've got, I usually have another stack of these. Yeah, magazines were huge. Magazines were, I mean, it's really weird to explain to a generation that magazines were our culture. They were where we came together. They were our internet, right?
Yeah.
Because they would give you a monthly update as to what is happening. And everybody read the same magazine, so you could talk about those articles and talk about Magazines now they're still a thing. There's still a few of them, but like, when's the last time you went into somebody's house and you saw a stack of magazines on the coffee table, right?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I keep my place like that, but I'm a weirdo. So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah, this does not surprise me. But that's just it, is that we as a society, we stepped away from that sort of format. And so we as industry people started saying, well, what's wrong? What are the missing pieces? Right? What is not working for us right now? And I'll tell you, this is an industry focused conversation. So I'll have the industry focused portion of this. When we get to a little closer to start promoting it, you're going to see me talking about you're talking about spinning a different way. But as an advertiser, as a marketer, I'm asking myself, how do I sell to the people who buy comics?
Yep.
Now, why is this so difficult? There are comics pals, right? You guys have your crew. And there are other people like you, content creators, who are doing this work. But if you go into a comic shop and you stand behind the counter, which I've done the experiment enough times that I feel 100% about it. You do that 10 times, right? Where you say to somebody, what is it? Why did you buy this stack of books? What made you buy this stack of books? What websites do you watch? What content creators? What Discord communities are you in? 9 out of 10 times, what they're going to tell you is, I don't know. I come in here every week. I look at what's on the shelf. I talk to my friend behind the counter, and I decide what I'm going to buy. That's it. So how do I get in front of that guy? As a marketer, as somebody who has an advertising budget, but I don't know where to spend it, how do I get in front of that guy? And the answer was, for generations, magazines. These monthly updates on how things are going. So we started looking around, and I went through this. I'll tell the longer version of this story has people saying to me, "Hey, you should go make Wizard Magazine," and I said, "No, I'm too busy." Over and over again, until Chip Zdarsky came to me and said, "Hey, will you help me run ZCN?" And I went, "Okay, sure, that I can help you do." And we figured out how it works. We figured out the business mechanics of running what for him started off as a little newsletter and became essentially a tiny magazine. So we figured out the mechanics of how that worked. We figured out how to sell the ads, how the editorial should work. And then he decided, well, I'm too busy now. I'm running half of Marvel. Why don't you, I have to quit this. If you want to take it over though, please do. So that's happening next month. We have one more issue of ZCN that's coming out in the stores. And we're actually talking to him about, there will be a little baton that handed off where we're in that last one and he's in our first one. And we're going to start this in March of 2026. This was the 0 issue that I gave out. This is a little tiny 8 pages plus cover. The final version will be 3 times the size for issue 1. And I will tell you that several of the names we've talked about on this show will be our features of that. I can't say the names yet because we're going to get close. But also we're also waiting on, turns out when you do a magazine, you have to get clearances to show art.
Who would have thunk it?
Oh.
I know. Anyway, so we're working on that process. But coming out in March, we're going to be interviewing some of the biggest creators in comics. We're going to be working with the biggest artists in comics. We're going to be helping you discover your next favorite read. We're going to be helping you discover your next favorite creator. We're gonna have actual little original comic pages that will be.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll have never seen anywhere else before by some of your favorite creators. We're going to have, I don't know, we have puzzles and games. Oh, one of the things I think is really interesting is there is no physical version of a catalog right now for the stores, right? There's different publishers will do their own. Like I think DC has one and Marvel has one and Image has one that you can print out yourself if you're a retailer. But so we're going to give publishers an opportunity to have catalog pages that you can be seen, so that you can be deciding what it is you're going to buy next month, right? It'll
That's
be
great.
first week of the month and you're at your comic shops. We're working on other ways to probably get it to you, but for the most part, it's going to be on your comic shop shelves. And it's just going to be a celebration of what comics is, right? We love comics that we can't, it's just, I've spent now 3 decades doing this, and it just gets you and it holds you. And we want to be, we've created a crew of people that just love comics, that we just want an opportunity to get people to, read more, so that's where we are. We're building the magazine in 2026, which is, if you guys know the name Bill Jemis, when I told him this, he said, well, and the award for biggest testicles in the room goes.
But this goes back to what you were talking about earlier in the show. People want something physical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would not listen. When we started that newsletter with Chip, I thought it would work, but did I know that it was going to go from being something that he paid for as a marketing expense and gave out 8,000 copies, right, to making it a profitable business, selling 25,000 copies of that thing to stores every month? No. Yeah. Why? Because we need something physical. We need to be reminded of who we are, because these things, they make us who we are.
I went to my shop looking for that first ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I have a couple here. And I was like, hell yeah. Sick.
Who's your shop?
I go to All Yeah Comics.
Oh, do you talk to Mark?
I have talked to Mark a couple times. Yeah. I'm mostly digital, so I've only recently started dipping back into physical, thanks to Absolute Batman. But right. I mean, it's getting me to go back in the shops.
There you go. That's the key. That is it. I don't think we're going to do digital for Comics the Magazine. I think it's we're going to be doing content, but we even talked about Comics the Magazine, the podcast. We'll do something along those lines.
Oh, so yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Comics the Magazine, the podcast. It's like High School Musical, the TV show, the movie, whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
So the chat has a lot of thoughts and questions about Comics the Magazine, which I'm grateful to see. Tariq wants to see a look of the inside of the magazine.
Yeah. Rico Renzi is art director on this, right?
Yeah, Rico Renzi is an award-winning colorist. He is the reason that Spider-Gwen looks the way that she does. Yep. He is going to be our head designer, and is the reason that every page looks as spectacular as it does. It's going to be, listen, man, it's going to be a dense read in some cases. You'll see, like, there's a 3-page, interview with Rob Guillory in here where we dig deep. And it's going to be a lot of that stuff. So it's, for those of us who have really struggled to gain back our attention spans, this one's going to be a nice exercise for you every month.
Yeah. Now, I know that ZCN was free because I got it.
Sure.
Is Comics the Magazine going to be, or will there be some price point?
There will be a cover price, but I don't want to get too deep into the weeds in a non retailer focused conversation. But there's going to be a cover price, and it will be priced in a way that retailers, if they are able to, if their business is structured that way, will be able to give it away.
Got it.
So if they buy it in bundles, it'll be cheap enough for them to give away. But they will be buying it. It'll still be an expense for them. So don't go to your retailer and say, hey, you should give this to me for free, because it's not free. Yeah.
So we will be keeping you guys posted on this, because we're all very excited about Comics the Magazine. So you will know through us at the very least when you can order it from your shops, and let them know you're excited, because again, everything in comics is grassroots. Yeah. And sometimes that can be annoying, but the facts are what they are. And so if you want this, when you go to your shop and you say, hey, Comics the Magazine is coming, I'm really excited for it, that's going to put it on their radar.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Is you need to, there's an old saying in marketing that you really have to get in front of people 10 times, right? In order to get them to buy, even if they want to buy, you have to get in front of them 10 times. And that starts with the retailer. So as a fan, anytime you want something you want to be subscribed to something or you want to pre-order something, just know that there's always a challenge in that I had to announce this at New York Comic Con, right? I had to get this out there. It's not going to be available for order until December, January, something along those lines, right? The retailer won't be able to order it in their systems, their POS systems, until January. That means that anybody who was excited for this and went to their retailer in October, he was like, I don't know, but he heard it. And if you come back to him in January, he's going to have it in his system and you can subscribe to it. That's going to make all the difference in the world. So yeah, just know that you need to hit your retailer 10 times in the same way that we're hitting you as many times as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, we've flashed the book already. Well, more than 10 times on the screen.
That's
so
right.
I found my cat rifling through my issue last night. So
oh yeah, well,
yeah, it woke me up middle of the night. I'm like, what sounds like paper? And he just messing with it. I'm like, that's weird of you to do. So it caught his eye.
I know. You know what? Cats, that's a demographic that we're really valuing. We're going to have an entire line of never mind. No, I'm going to
cat demo.
Well,
right.
What I like too in the issue, there's the comics section.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to be, I think the plan is to continue that on where each of us every month is going to have a recommendation, but everybody who's contributing is going to have a recommendation as well. So we're going to have a number of contributors, and we're talking to some of my favorite people about contributing. I'm looking very hard at the screen. I'm looking right in the camera. So the people who are also looking at their screens right now will tell me that they want to bring me a pitch. But yeah, we're going to talk to some of our favorite people about bringing us not only features and ideas, but also when they do, we want to bring. The whole point is to get people excited about comics, right?
Yeah.
It's to say, this is the thing that got me excited to go to the shop. This is the thing that got me excited to sit down and turn my fucking phone off.
Oof. Yes. Say that shit.
But I love the blue light. It keeps me awake.
We had a question from a commenter I haven't seen before. I want to just quickly answer this. Anthony Manzano, thank you for hanging out with us and leaving us a comment. Question: can you guys explain to me the difference in terms of comics between a colorist and an actual artist? I've always assumed they're the same thing. So that's fair. That's a reasonable assumption. If you look at most comics you buy, you're going to see an artist credited, penciler, and a colorist. So the penciler is going to do the pencils. They're going to do typically the inks as well. So that's your your raw image. That's your raw Superman drawing, right? And then the colorist is going to come in. They're going to look at the intention of the image. Obviously, you know how Superman's supposed to look. You're going to color that in the way the character's supposed to look. You're going to figure out what is happening in this scene, and you're going to color it appropriately. Colorists have a lot of ability to tell story as well. A colorist could say, you know what, this background will pop if we push that red in there because this character's angry right now. Yeah. We're going to go with the red that's going to accentuate their anger, the emotion of the moment. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. So colorists are a big part of the storytelling of a book. They're often not as credited because a good colorist, like a good letterer, goes under the radar.
In the background.
But yes.
Yeah, I mean, the colorist is almost like the cinematographer of the scene, right? They really can change the mood of the book. It's funny you mentioned. So in the old days, there was a penciler, just so that so we're doing some 101 stuff. There was a penciler, somebody who would go in and sketch out, what does Superman look like and what is he in motion. But he would be sketching, so there would be extra lines there that wouldn't be picked up by the printer. Then there was an inker who would go in and say, all right, that line, we're going to choose that line right there. And that's how this cape is being imaged. And so that inker would make a decision. Then there was a colorist. Back then there was a colorist and then a separator. Now there's a flatter and a colorist. So a flatter being somebody who goes in and says, all right, this cape is red, so all this area is going to be red. And then the colorist goes in and talks about what value of red and what gradients of red. So yeah, there's so many people. We did a real fun podcast panel probably a month ago on our channel, on the Comic Industry Insiders channel. where we talked about all of the people that go into making a comic, not just artistically, but also all the people that work at the warehouse, all the people who work at the printer, all the people who what takes at the comic shop when these things show up, like the legitimately hundreds of people who are going to be involved in conceiving and making and distributing and selling your comic. We went through them piece by piece. It was fun.
Was that the hidden world of the comic book industry?
I think so. Yep. I think it was that one.
Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna share it in the chat right now.
Awesome. Look at that.
Matt Fisher dropping $4.99 on us. Good to see you, Matt. Says, congrats, Sean, on being an uncle. Thank you. Let's try and keep this show on track this week, not like last Saturday. Well, first of all, Matt, thank you for the congratulations. I hate to miss the show, but there was a human birth, and so I did have to Thursday miss the show, but Tyler and Marco held it down. And as far as keeping the show on track this week versus last week, listen, dude, right now, Adam Freeman is here, and we are immature, but he is not. So we're going to keep our composure, and we're not going to act like wild animals today because we have a special guest.
A guest is here. Yeah. You know, you got
best behavior.
Exactly.
Guys, come on. He's we got the you don't want to disappoint everybody.
Exactly.
No.
Oh.
You would be disappointed.
Yeah.
Last week we were talking about wild stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed out.
Listen, this show is crazy.
And that was the 1 week my parents were watching too, and they decided to text me about things.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, "What's this mean?" I'm like, "Oh boy."
Oh, that's right. I told the story. Okay.
Yeah.
All
right, Adam. Listen, I don't want to impact your purity, but I'll say this.
My purity. Oh, if you didn't know.
I went to a friend's house, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I'll just tell you the immediate fact. I went to a friend's house, and I walked through the door, and I looked to my right, and on his couch is a woman, but she's not a real woman. She's actually a sex doll. And that was how I was introduced to his home. Yes.
Yeah. Well, he said we had guests over. Bring out the fine china.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Yep.
There you go.
No,
Yep.
Do you still feel like you missed out?
Immediately, I want more answers. You know what? I'll go back and watch.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I get you.
There you go. Thank you.
Episode 472.
Matt Fisher drops another $4.99 on us. I always wanted to be an inker. I wish I had drawn and studied more when I was younger. Age is nothing but a number, my friend. You can start today.
Kale letters comics sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Start right now.
Get into it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're not in that car all the time now, too. You can start working.
Yeah.
I have a good friend whose name I am going completely up on. So I can't tell you how good a friend he might be. He was a really good friend back then. Guy in his, we were in our 30s. He was probably in his early 40s actually when I met him. And he wanted to be a comic book writer, and he wrote several scripts. He was an English teacher. That was how he made his living. And he wanted to make comics, so he wrote a few scripts. And he was trying to get an artist and just didn't like the interaction with the artist. So he said, I'm gonna go learn to draw. So he sat down with all the artists that he loved, and he just learned to draw. And now he is a working Eisner Award winning, best-selling artist whose name I wish I could remember. But yeah, I will say there is no wish I had done this when I was younger. You start where you start. We all start for the same place.
Dude,
right?
Didn't Danny Earls freaking have a massive career as a soccer player, and now he's a big time comics artist? Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
Seriously, the number of comics writers that we have who come out of the military or come out of having careers as in intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tom Kings of the world, they build entire careers and then they come and become artists or writers. Like all of that, everything that you went through before is what's going to make your line interesting. It's going to be what's going to make your stories interesting. Right?
Nicole Main's an actress who was a DC character before she started writing DC books, and those books are fucking good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now
just go for it.
Time.
Go for it.
We all start now. That's it. Every single day, we all start now.
I did like this one comment here from Super Job. He said, "Can't wait for comics, the magazine, the podcast, the movie." We're in Spaceballs territory at that point.
Love
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Comics, the magazine, came to me as many things do, like as I was waking up, because you fall asleep thinking about a problem.
Yeah.
We would just go back and forth on what to call this. And I will tell you, from a business standpoint, calling it Comics, the magazine, complete utter shit SEO. Awful. There's no way anybody's ever going to find this by Googling us. But it came to me, and I said this to the crew, and it was the first time everybody in the crew said, "Yes, this is it." And I went, "Well, shit, this is it." So there's no, I can't go back, because it's the first time everybody said yes. And I had people try and talk me out of it because the SEO of it is so bad. But it wasn't until later that somebody said, "You're doing Spaceballs." I went, "Oh,
That's
maybe,
funny.
I guess." It didn't occur to me.
That's funny. Now we've got Adam is going to be hanging out with us for quite some time. We've got a lot more to talk about when it comes to optimism in comics. Before we continue the conversation, I do need to shout out our sponsors. You guys, the listeners, the people who support us on patreon.com/thecomicspals, where you can get a nickname and a shout out, a superhero, supervillain nickname and a shout out on this very show. And so I want to give a special shout out to our Pals vs. Legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross Catherine Stars, the Spear of Judgment, Jace Jumble, Jalen Jackson, the Sanguine Sorcerer, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, Jesse and the Juggernaut, Kyle the Zenith, Entertain Me, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Adam Smith, Sam the Last Young Renegade, Blur, Jekyll Jose. And thank you to Pals vs. members, the Night Stalker, Harris Tajinski, Brian Demolish, Shadol Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, The Spirit of Justice, Izzy's Issues, Robert Runback, Cashaback, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight the Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, The Grand Alchemist, Chop Harder Alchemist, John Barrier B, and Doomsday David Melendez Dory. If you did not hear your name, and you are supposed to, keep listening because you will hear it later. Thank you all very much. One of the things, Adam, that had me excited at New York Comic Con was the conversation between Milton Grepp and I believe he was the CEO of Universal out of Canada.
Yes.
And I thought it was fascinating.
Angelo,
thank you.
Yes.
I thought it was fascinating that Angelo's perspective was that there could be a greater synergy between comics, games, toys, and all that other stuff. Because he was saying, well, wait a second. We have in our stores access to the greatest and most popular characters in the world right now.
Yep.
And our store should be a one-stop shop for everything that you want from that character. And that made me think about this. We've got these blind bags now that printers and publishers don't necessarily know how to handle because they've never handled a random item before, but Universal does.
Mm-hmm.
Universal understands very well how to handle the distribution of something like that. So do you feel that now getting in some people who are thinking more modern, who are thinking technology-based, who are thinking about synergy, do you think that those are the kinds of things that are going to help the comic shop stand out as a place to go for all geek items?
I think so. I think that on a larger scale, I think competition is good, right? Competition means resilience. Competition means innovation. Competition means that there is segmentation, right? So as Angelo pointed out, he for the longest time, Diamond, when they had their monopoly, they recognized that the only way for them to grow was to grow more comic shops, right? And so they tried a number of things and they just could not make it work. They just none of them worked with that kind of culture. But what Angelo is pointing out is that we have all of these places that also have regular weekly clientele that come in on a regular basis. They're interested in these characters. They're interested in the culture of getting together and storytelling and all of those things. They just happen to be game stores, right? And there's more of them. Now, granted, they've waxed and waned during periods where comic shops have been steady, but these game stores, there is more of them, and they are of a certain ilk, right? They are of a certain energy, right? The second that comic shops maybe don't even have a same piece of. They are an incredible place for growth, right? Because they were already falling in love with Spider-Man through the Magic the Gathering thing, and obviously everybody's watched the movies and whatever, right? They already know the Marvel universe, and so they're already doing games based around that. So the idea of introducing them to some of the work that we have done, right, that we've iterated over generations of Spider-Man stories, makes a lot of sense. And we're starting to see that, right? Especially DC is killing it by putting in those little kiosk, little pop-up displays in gas stations and in grocery stores and in Walmarts and Targets and such. We're starting to see that sort of overlap everywhere. So the idea that, let's focus in on how do we start introducing more comics into game stores and more games into comic shops, right? And because the comic shops becoming more less dependent on comics does make them stronger, right? If they can become also the place that you go and buy Pokemon cards when they're brand new, that means that they have more product to sell. When I ran a comic shop, this will date me, but when I ran a comic shop, one of the biggest months I had was selling Harry Potter books. The new Harry Potter book came out, and I figured out I could open an account and I could sell hardcovers. So those kinds of things make sense, for these sort of, I hate the word synergy, but it is one of those things that does work in this particular instance. So yeah, and Angelo and his team, I will say they have a history of not being exactly innovative on the tech side, for Canada, because they're a Canadian distributor. So they do have they do have a hurdle to jump over as far as understanding tech, but every conversation I have with them is that they are going to be tackling that, and that they are in the process of tackling that. They're going to be in the comic shops in the US starting in 2026. Comics the Magazine will be available at Universal. And so they are doing the work, and they did. I believe I could not make a list of the people that I would have wanted to hire out of the death of Diamond that doesn't involve the people they hired. Beautiful. Right? There are some people that I think that they missed, but they didn't get anybody who I think was a schlub. Let's put it that way. Right? And they did get a couple of the superstars at Diamond. So I think they have everything in front of them to do this right. And I do love the fact that, that PRH brought some of the systems that work in bookstores to our environment, and that raised the game of Lunar's shipping raised the game of PRH's shipping, right? This idea of there's a certain level beyond which you shall not pass if you're shipping to comic shops. You got to take care of these little pamphlets that are $4, but like they're fucking gold, in order to make sure they get across the finish line.
That's right.
Universal is going to teach us all something, and we're all going to teach Universal something, right? It's just everybody's game is going to have to keep getting raised. And I think that's a part of the reason why I'm so optimistic about what's happening in the next 5-10 years is because of that, because we now have 3 different strong organizations that are going to be working so hard on the distribution side, right? And each one of them comes at it from a different point of view, right? PRH comes up for if you want to get books into independent bookstores, back into the Barnes and Nobles of the world, PRH is the partner you want to have in your corner. If you want to be treating comics like they are gold and like they're collectibles and they're like something you want to keep showing up for, you've never seen anybody who treats them with more respect than the Lunar Warehouse. It's an incredible, incredible place. You want to see this hybrid, this understanding that our culture overlaps with other cultures. Universal, it understands that in a deep way, because they are they're a juggernaut in gaming distribution. They are already a massive company. So these three together, competing and making things slightly better and raising each other's games, it's so beyond what it is. Now, it does give us some challenges, and we could get into those, but I think it does give us a lot to work with.
Is it possible for any of these companies to be as technologically inept as Diamond?
You would need to be a 40-year-old organization who is still working with a data structure that was started when you started. Oh man.
I feel like, 2020 was such a scary year for our industry, not really knowing what was going to happen. And, the fall of Diamond was just something that I think a lot of people wanted, but at least for me, was something that inspired a lot of fear, because what's going to happen here? DC leaves Diamond. Diamond's in a lurch now. Are we just all going to, how am I going to get my comics? 5 years removed from that, I think it's clear that DC did the right thing.
I think so.
And I think that now we're in a place where, like you said, there's competition, which on a distribution level, the industry hasn't had in 30 years.
I will say, having been in this conversation, there's somebody I respect, incredibly grateful. I'm not going to say their name on this conversation, but they said more than once that Nancy Spears, in her decision to move DC Comics to Lunar, and at the time it was Lunar and Midtown, right?
Right. Yep.
Whatever Midtown's
DCS, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember now. It's been a while. UCS.
UCS.
Right. So I guess it would be Lunar and UCS, or DCBS and Midtown, depending on how you want to define them. Her decision to do that is what saved our industry, right? And the further we get away from that decision, the harder it is to argue with. That was the decision, the defining moment, because we could have gone down. They could have gone down with the ship. And maybe we all talk about, saving comics and how what does that look like? It's become a running joke in our crew of saving comics. I really do think that there was one time when comics needed saving, and they made a hard decision, and it did change the game. Now, granted, it also toppled a 30-year monopoly. And there are a lot of people suffered because of that. A lot of publishers suffered because of that. And we're going to be seeing the fallout of that kind of ripple through our industry now for another probably 20 years. But at the end of the day, that was the tipping point that could have put us all under. Yeah. And I think that's I'm grateful they made that decision. I will say that it was a weird time because nobody could go out. Nobody could go to the office, so everybody was just on the phone. I spend 8 hours a day on the phone with people. So as they were making these decisions, I'm talking to them every day, and so I have I think some understanding of what was in their heads. And it was, they were just trying to do the right thing, and it was tough to know what the right thing was at the time, right? I mean, if you've gone through that, you remember it was tough to know whether or not to leave the house. It was tough to know when and where to wear a mask. Should you wear a mask? What is all of that? Everything was up for grabs. Everything was a question. And I think we go back on that period, the fact that they made any decisions during that period is incredible.
Well, it killed complacency in the distribution. And now they have people that have to change and iterate and actually make decisions.
Yeah. 100%.
Diamond was just doing the same thing Diamond did for decades.
Right, because they had people who would be there for decades.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, listen, I think I feel so bad for the people that lost jobs and have not been able to find them. Many of them are very good friends of mine. I have one of my closest friends is still in between trying to figure out what's next in his career. And he had a really solid job at Diamond. when I feel for them so deeply. But man, I look back on it and I just don't think it could have happened any other way. Yeah. We
Do you
could have.
think? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying is this could have been. I could have been the biggest thing in comics, which is scary coming out of that, because I wouldn't have quit making comics. There's no way. I don't know what else to do. But I would have been, me sending zines to like 500 people or something. Yeah.
Do you think that's the most important decision made in this industry since Free Comic Book Day?
It could be. Yeah. Yeah. I think you can. I think you could support that thesis. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I am so happy that this is the way that things have gone. I remember when we first spoke to you, the big headline was Adam Freeman has a plan to save comics. And I feel
that was always tongue in cheek. I never felt that way. I just want to say, I have never in my career had the opportunity to save comics. I have friends who like to make that joke, but that has never been my place. My place has always just been connective tissue. That's what I do.
But if we pulled up that, list of things that you felt needed to change and be addressed, I'm pretty confident that a lot of those things, if not all of them, have either been directly addressed or are in the road in the process of being addressed.
I have to go back and look at that list. I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to go back and
look at I think you should. I think it would be great as like a retrospective to say, like, hey man, these things are now being done. It's happening in real time.
I'd read that retrospective in Comics the Magazine.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be writing for the magazine. We'll see. I'm trying to do my best to stay. I mean, I can't. I'm a hype man by nature, so it's hard for me to not talk about it every chance I get. But I am trying to be behind the scenes. I don't want anybody thinking about this as any one person's magazine. It is a crew that is. Joe Keating is doing an amazing job of setting the tone of what this thing is. Rico Renzi is making the look of it his own. We have somebody behind the scenes, Megan Marsden, who without her, this thing does not happen. The structure that she's built for us is the only way that this was actually going to work. And Gabe Yoakum, who's handling our sales and sponsorships and all of those conversations. Man, I mean, he brings with him an incredible depth of experience that, and frankly, a contact list that is the only way this works, right? Because the only way a magazine works is advertising. You guys want to go deep into the business of comics? I'll tell you something that we'll come back. Next year's conversation will be about is advertising will save comics, but we can get into that later. Yeah.
Gotta tell you got some nice open placements on these pages. So yeah, take a note.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh, what do you do that for a living, Marco?
Oh well. And to that point, I haven't had a DC or Marvel rep in years because that's not something that they do anymore. There used to be a time where you'd hit up that individual, and hey, I need to buy the inside cover. Give me a square for X dollar amount.
Yeah. And that's just it. It needs to be we need that because this is how people are buying comics. But B, imagine if you're a self-publisher. All right, we'll get into this. Imagine if you're a self-publisher and I'm able to give you a revenue source that you don't have to go out and earn.
Sure.
Right? Let's say you're part of a network and I come to you and say, all right, for X number of dollars, I just want your inside back cover. And that's one less page you have to design. It's that much more, one step closer to profitability.
Yeah.
Let's say that Marvel and DC, they know how to handle this, but all of those image creators, right? If they had the ability to know that they had revenue coming in that wasn't just out of the comic shop's pocket, like that would make a huge difference to the kind of work that they could do. Advertising, I think, because I don't want to shit on your industry, but man, like it's become harder and harder and harder to get any sort of ROAS out of out of those kind of pay-per-click advertising. It just doesn't, you're not, it's, I mean, where did you start, right? Those ROASs were like 20. Now you're lucky if you get like 3.
Yeah, dude. It's become harder because obviously you can't attribute those things, but also everybody's just so focused on extracting that last dollar that it's all on digital because you can track that. You can at least say whether or not it's true. You can at least say, hey, I definitely saw somebody click through, and there's a percentage that they made it. But to the magazine piece, um, the back cover of all of the DC books this week were Batman and Static.
Yeah,
and that
and was the ad in the latter half of the book. It's they give
preview.
like 2 or 3 pages of it. Yeah, it's internal ads.
Yeah, that works. That's that frequency. I bought at least 5 DC books. I saw that at least 5 times.
And that's the power of branding advertising, right?
Yeah,
As opposed to product advertising, right? So it's those 2 different things. It's that trying to get somebody to make a decision right now versus recognizing that I need to get in front of you 10 times before you say yes, right? Or I'm sure that number is even bigger than that. But for you, you had to see it 5 times. And you're like, all right, yeah, I'm in for the Static book.
Yeah.
That's the power of this. And you gotta have platforms where you're getting that, where you're hitting them over and over and over again. I think that magazines were that for generations. Yeah. And so getting back to that, especially now that we have a culture that maybe is ready for it again. I don't know. I hope we're right.
Common sense in the chat says other publishers like Boom Studios need to do their marketing better. Well, issue 0, yeah, Marion Herrick, right there. Boom Studios,
book too, by the way.
Yeah,
Teeny Howard, Joe Laro, yeah.
They have that the PRH money to spend on building Boom, so they can.
Yeah,
right. And then that's the way it should work. So yeah.
Mitchell Baird. It's a name I haven't seen before. Thank you for breaking lurk. I love you lurkers. I love when you break lurk. It's fun for me. He says, good day. How long do you think DC Compact Comics line continues before they transition away from the format? Marvel 2. Watched your podcast this week, the DC Compact episode. It was a great discussion. Thank you, Mitchell. I would be shocked if DC did away with the compacts. They're selling like hotcakes. I think they're making new readers potentially. We don't have all the facts behind that, but what I have always heard, and Adam can attest to this far better than I can, is that stores are seeing people coming in and eating these things up.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you get and there was a whole lot of direct market comic shop retailer pushback when they announced this line. And God bless them for continuing it on, because it has introduced some of the classics to an entire generation. That we're not, there's only so many times you can sell the same Watchmen trade paperback, right, before you have to do something new. And that format, it's just such a nice little piece. You want to walk around with it. You want to throw it in your bag. You want to read it on the train. You want to, like, it feels much better, and it is that middle ground between manga and a trade paperback, a standard comic shop comic size, trim size. So I can't imagine. I will. This is an opportunity for me to give a plug for a client. Let's see. Let's decide which cover here. There we go. Here's a nice Mike Allred cover for The Future Is, which is the book. There we go. This book is in comic shops every month. It's a almost cybercrime, but it was put out by cybersecurity professionals. It's like a technopunk almost story. Happens 30 years in the future about this group of hackers that takes down the man, right? Takes down the big structure. Anyway, issue 8 is part of a new story arc. It's our 3rd arc. Our first one was the first issue 1, and then 2 through 7 was the 2nd arc. Issue 8 will be our 3rd arc. And if you were a fan of the telepathy tapes, there's going to be something here for you, because we loved that series, and so it kind of eked in. We're going to be doing that at the same week that issue number 8 comes into stores, which is in December. Is going to be a compact size trade paperback of the first 7 issues. And it's going to be, I'll tell you the truth. We did our best to make it as close to the compact, paper quality and trim size as we could, because it's the right thing to do right now.
Yeah. I will say, even as like a longtime comic reader as myself, these are impulse buys for me.
Yeah.
I'm in the shop. Like I was in the shop the other day in LA Comics and I saw Elegy, Batwoman Elegy in compact. And I was like, oh, it's only $10.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm going to read this again and I'm going to gift it to someone,
The future is, by the way, volume 1, also $10, $9.99.
There you go.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good value. They're hefty books for a good price.
Yeah. And that's it. That's what you need to do. You need to make it easy for the consumer to say yes, because that's how they show up for volume 2. Right.
One of the pushbacks that I had, and by the way, I think the fact that so many people, myself included, pushed back on compact, pushed back on DC leaving Diamond, and ended up being wrong about those things, shows that, at least in DC's case, they're doing things that disrupt what is standard in comics, because they're looking and thinking outside the box, which is a good thing for this industry. It's a great thing for this industry. But my pushback was, okay, you sell these compact comics at $10. That is an amazing get-in price. But if a person says, okay, I bought the Batman Court of Owls Volume 1, compact, $10, I love it. I want the next storyline. I want Death of the Family. Now, that same person who got that first hit for 10 has to go to their LCS and say, I want the next step. That next step is at a bare minimum price, double, for the same amount or less content.
Sure.
How do you feel about that?
Well, on the one hand, I think there's a hedonistic treadmill that happens to all of us, right? Where I think there's a part of us as consumers that almost want it to be a little more expensive. Like we want there to be a barrier of entry so that when we cross that barrier, we're one of the few. So I think that there is some of that. I think that is still at play. Also, I think that there's going to be a point where, the Death of the Family storyline has already been paid for, right? The A&E on that has been paid for a long time ago. So the question is, are they going to be able to sell the same volume of Court of Owls as in that format as they did? If they are, then there's no reason for them not to make it $9.99. So I don't think it's a ballooning of the price, but I do think that so long as you're using this as an introduction that gets people into other stuff, I think there's a little bit of psychology where we almost want it to be a little more expensive. It's like having a sip of really great wine, right? Somebody gives you a nice glass of wine, you go, oh, this is really good. And you go, yeah, I mean, it's a little expensive. It was like $50 a bottle. You're like, oh, I'm only ever spent $10 a bottle. Okay, well now I know what $50 a bottle tastes like. I'm gonna go do that. And then you're at a restaurant and somebody gives you $100 a bottle. Well, I mean, now it's kind of hard to go back to 50. So that kind of, when I say the hedonistic treadmill, that's what that is, right? It's, man, once you get involved in really good chocolate, it's hard to go back to Hershey's, So we all kind of want it to be a little more sophisticated and a little more, a little harder to find. And that's why we all have checklists in our back pocket of the things that we're looking for in the dollar bins. It's because we don't want to have to spend $10,000 for it. So yeah,
DC Compact is the first hit to you getting artist editions down the line.
Oh yeah, be careful, kids, because these compact editions are gonna, you're gonna end up having.
We need to bring Dare back.
You're gonna have to buy bigger bookshelves than these, all right? Because they're not gonna fit anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Do you think though that there is a messaging? Maybe messaging is the wrong word, but you go to the LCS, you grab your compact, it's $10. If you want Absolute Batman, which is the new hotness, you're dropping $5 an issue. So one version gives you the entire story for $10. The other is $5 an issue.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a problem there?
No, I don't think there's a problem. I think there's two different markets, two different audiences.
Yeah.
Right. I love books, right? Books that are written by people who do a lot of scientific research, and they will dig deep, right? Let's try and pick an author. Malcolm Gladwell, right? I've read a bunch of his books. I don't read every article that he does, right? I don't go in and look for every podcast and do that. And that's just stuff, that's even stuff that I could get for free. But if I was buying those magazines, those articles are in, those would be $5 a pop, right? But there are people who do. There are Malcolm Gladwell fans who need to get everything that he does, right? So that $15 hardcover versus the $5 magazine that only has 2,000 words in it, right? That's a completely different value prop for them. But for them, they want that constant drip, right? They need the constant feed. For a lot of people, a lot of people are going to be comics fans, and they're only ever going to read what's in those compact editions. They're only ever going to buy $10 compact editions. And at this point, you could only buy those, and you would have a really well-rounded library. But if you really want to get on the treadmill, you want to get like deeper, you want to understand it better, you want to be, you want to sit with comics pals and be able to talk shit, like you gotta dig deep, you gotta show up at the store. And I think we want that. I don't know,
The way I think about the compact comics is almost like, do you remember PlayStation Greatest Hits?
But
So it's for video games. PlayStation, Sony would put out the greatest hits. They were games that have already been out for a while, but they were well known and well regarded, that they put out for cheaper.
Yeah,
that didn't mean I didn't expect every game to be $30 going forward, but it got me into video games.
Yeah. I mean, we have to remember, these are businesses, right? Yeah. And these businesses, what they did was they went in to make this comic, right? Let's call it The Future Is again. They went in to make this thing. We sell this for $4.04, but that's because we're okay with taking a loss on it. This should probably be a $4.99 or $5.99 single issue in order to make an actual profit.
$4.04.
But we used the money that we got from this to pay the writer, the artist, the colorist, the letterer, the editor, not to mention the printer, right? Not to mention the distributor, not to mention me. But like, we used that money to get to create the item. Now we're going to create a trade paperback. We're selling that for $10. Why can we sell it for $10? Because we already made the money here. And if we sell it again, we could sell that same thing again for $5, because we're just at that point, it's really about what does it cost to turn the printer on and to pay the distributor and the salespeople and all of that. Those things, because the cost of the creation, the A&E, the art and editorial, the cost of that has already been amortized. It's already been paid for. So if you think that, as a result, well, this is just worth $10, you're a naive little baby, and you should enjoy your volume 1 and go sample somebody else's culture next. That's fine. You're not in it. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I did just call part of the audience a little baby. I apologize.
They're used to
fine.
it. It's okay for them.
They've called us worse.
Babies.
Yeah.
I've been called George Santos 2 weeks in a row. So.
Oh
no.
I see it.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry.
I can't even grow a beard.
You should.
I got him in prison.
Little outfits. You had the little outfits. You should do the outfits.
I can't do sweater vests.
Oh, come on.
I run too warm. I run too warm.
The double take. It was the double take.
I do have to work in an office this coming week for the first time in like 5 years.
My
so
God.
I will be.
Oh, here it comes.
God.
Here it
comes.
comes.
Oh my God. The way he was stuck. Like, wait a second.
Is that him?
Oh shit. You really do look like him.
He's not as catty as I thought.
This ain't Halloween. Oh my goodness. Ted H with the $10. Really loving this kind of comics industry conversation. A comics monkey. See, he called himself a monkey. Baby's okay too. A comics monkey like me who's still learning really craves more in-depth content like this. Thank you to Adam and the Pals.
There's that hedonistic treadmill, man. It's never enough. You always need a little more. Yeah.
Got to get that serotonin somehow.
That's right, baby.
Hell yeah.
We're happy to help you, Ted.
We owe a couple of wheel spins. So Tyler, can you?
I'll do a spin. What do we got here?
Whenever someone gives us a $10 or more super chat, we have to spin that wheel back there, Adam.
Oh,
drink up, guys. You can have water now. This is the only
all
way
right.
Sean's allowed to drink water is if we get it on a spin. So,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. You are guilting your audience into giving you $10 so you can take a drink. The option of possibly getting a drink of water.
Yep.
Okay. First of all, don't put it like that. But second of all, it's a communal drink. Everyone's
it up to the game. Listen, I'm giving it up to the player on that.
Look, order of Dylan says I've been waiting to drink all stream. Yeah.
See? Come on now. It works. It works.
Not a little gambling never hurt anyone. Well, actually.
Well,
it's hurt a lot.
It's ruined a lot of families, yeah.
We actually have a lot more show to do, so we're going to run through into the next piece of what we're doing here. Adam is going to hang out with us. Thank you, Adam. Remember, Comics the Magazine, you guys are going to want this. We each have a proof of concept issue that's really cool, and it's going to be so much more when it finally drops in March.
Yeah.
Make sure that you tell your LCS owner that you want this, whether you tell them today, tomorrow, tell them today, tell them tomorrow, tell them the day after, tell them in January, make sure they put it in your stack. Tell them 10 times.
You got to tell them 10 times.
Be
10 times.
Like, be persistent.
Yes. Let them know that you want it.
Show them the stream. Be like, these guys, I want this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
A screen grab of all of us holding up a copy. That's
yeah, mine is
3, 2, 1. There we go.
I'll fix yours in post, Sean. I got you.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Thank you. AI. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I suck. Wait, is it here? Oh, fuck.
It found its way into the stack.
Yeah. So we've got a lot more show to do again. Well, let's keep it pushing. Oh, I want to read this comment. Nihilist Nico says, I mean, that's an emotional take. The market determines the value. Isn't that just true across all industries? Don't get me wrong. I see the value. I respect the art, but it's selling at $10 for a reason.
This is regards to the compact comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the mistake that he's making is the words "the market," right? There are many markets. There are many markets, and each market is priced differently, and each market is trim size differently, and each market is bound differently, and some markets you're never going to get a printed volume to even get them to pick it up, but they might finally watch something animated, right? Or maybe they never will watch a Netflix series, but they'll watch video shorts that are vertical, right? Every single market is different, Nico. You cannot say the market says $10 works. It's not. It's just again, which is not an understanding of how the business overall works.
It's an excellent point, because it could be argued that compact comics are not targeted at me at all. And I am very entrenched in the direct market. But that is not a product for me. I've read 90% of the books that they're releasing already, and I don't necessarily need another version, but I'm obviously a sucker, so I'll pick it up. But I am not the person they need to buy that.
On what arguably is worse paper.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you got this on glossy paper. It was much larger when you were reading it. It was a better presentation. Right? Because you are a connoisseur. You are on the hedonistic treadmill. Whereas like when I'm handing this to somebody new, they just know that they liked the Joker movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've never heard of Brian Azzarello or Lee Bermejo. Right? It's a completely separate market. And so the idea that I'm going to go to them and hand them the single issues and they're going to go, oh yeah, that's worth $20, $30 for the storyline. No way. More than worth it for you. But for them, they needed a $10 version on shittier paper and a smaller trim size. they needed that in order to convince them. So yeah, different markets there is no the market.
And you know what? That's a very interesting point, because the way that I got into comics wasn't by going to a comic shop. The first time that I started getting comics like monthly was because I had gotten something, and in the back it had this cardboard that said, "Oh, if you like comics, here's Ultimate Spider-Man. You can get a year of Ultimate Spider-Man delivered to you for X amount of money," which was a huge discount from the typical price. So that was the way that I was able to convince my parents, like, "Hey, I want this." And they said, "All right, well, that's pretty cheap, $20 for a year of these comics. Why not?"
Yeah. I'm one of the things I'm tinkering with, I haven't quite figured out. We may do it through crowdfunding or something, is how do we handle in person, like personal subscriptions, something that comes to your door? And do we just sell it at the comic shops? I don't know. But one of the things I love is that my ex-wife, one year for her birthday, I got her a lifetime subscription to Rolling Stone. It was a
Wow.
one-time fee, and it shows up for the rest of her life. Long after she divorced my ass, she's still getting Rolling Stone, right? I love that idea. So I don't know. We'll tinker with that. But again, those things are all about circulation too, right? That's all about increasing circulation to a point where you can sell advertising. And I get to call Marco and say,
Hey, we got
get us some ads on this, right? Because we have this kind of circulation, right? So yeah.
I have to ask, how much was that yearly subscription to Rolling Stone?
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
It was not much. I want to say it was like $100 or something.
Wow.
No
What?
way.
Yeah. But that was a time when they would be selling you a year's subscription for $10-15 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that was the goal, was just to get the circulation numbers up. So yeah, it was not much. And again, this was before Marco was born. So
That's right.
Adam Quinn, that's another name I haven't seen before. I love seeing all these new names in chat. Maybe that's because we have Adam Freeman with us. Who knows?
There you go.
Says it's not about being the best way to read the stories. It's about being as cheap as manga and being for regular people. And as a comic fan, I do like having some iconic stories for cheap. That's valid.
Mhm.
That's valid.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they saw when they were trying to build this. They said, "Look at all these manga readers out here. There's all these Dogman readers, all these Smile readers. How do we get them? All right, well, let's just do it the way they are ready for it.
Yeah.
Let's give them I love this marketer, the guy who writes about marketing, and like a man named Seth Godin. And he talks about just giving people the regular kind. I don't want something special. I just want the regular kind.
Hmm.
And that's what they did. They just went in and said, let's just make the regular kind. Let's make it what they are ready for.
And Sean,
Yeah.
to speak what you were talking about before, Image is doing it too, but they're doing continuous volumes. Saga, Invincible, and I saw it recently for Paper Girls has a
Oh, that makes sense.
digest format in like a holographic cover too, which I thought was pretty neat. But like I think they're in all comics where I go, they put them all on the same shelf with the compact, and then the Marvel's premiere is also there. I think it's genius, honestly.
It's gonna shift everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Will it shift the monthlies, the single issues?
Well,
I hope not.
Saga would need to come out occasionally for that to happen. Yeah.
I mean, but
exactly.
to that point, within the digital market, you have that Webtoon DC crossover. Again, you want to hit people in with the least amount of friction. And then most recently, Disney announced with oh my gosh, this is escaping me.
Fortnite?
No.
Okay.
They just announced something from a publication standpoint. You can get something within I think the manga market. I don't think it was Crunchyroll. At any rate, again, that crossover into the digital comics, specifically crossing over.
Yeah.
Hitting people where they live.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Webtoons has been such a monumental shift in how people think about comics. And there's so much experimentation in trying to move that vertical scroll format into print. And then, we've never successfully, I don't think, ever moved the way we do comics, this format, the way we do this format into vertical scroll. I don't feel like we've ever really figured that out. And I don't know that we ever will. It might just be that there's just a bridge too far. But But yeah, there's lots of people experimenting with that. I can't wait to see what comes out of it.
These are going to be very exciting times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it feels like I haven't completely wasted my life working on comics. It's
Yes.
the first time. It's only take me 30 years to go, should I go get a real job? The first time I'm not saying that. Yeah.
And that's why the future of comics is hopeful, if you can say that. So.
There you go.
100%.
Yes.
So what was it an attractive sex doll? Is it like a
All right. So
No.
I'll just tell you this.
Man, I gotta add this SEO again to get the creeps. Damn.
She was
Oh, okay.
Scantily clad.
No.
Okay. And he had her, she had a wig, she had everything. He was, I mean,
was it a wig, or were they actually implanted into the doll?
Actually it was implanted.
Not that I know.
Into
Not
the
that I know.
doll. Yeah, the hair.
Yeah. Not that I
Because
know.
if you're gonna go full sex doll, not like inflatable, like you want it to feel like real hair, right?
This came in one of those things you needed to like get a crowbar probably to pry open with like the sawdust in it.
Grate,
Yeah.
Right. It's not like a Casper mattress where you open the seal and she goes,
Well,
you know,
it might actually.
Adam, she worked. All right.
Whoa, wait.
And I did it.
Secondhand.
I don't know that from my own experience.
Okay.
But there's a version of this story that I simply cannot tell on this stream that does not involve me. Okay. But
does she have a name?
She worked. Sorry?
Does she have a name?
I don't recall.
Wow.
I don't recall.
He did.
Wait, this is the second time we're talking about this, and we didn't even ask if she had a name. We're horrible people.
I seriously.
Damn.
I'm also a little disappointed that she wasn't in like a ball gown or something. I would think that you would have a little, you know.
Well,
Dolled up.
the owner decides the classiness of it, I guess.
If you met the individual who owned her, you would not be surprised. He was a Neanderthal.
I got you. Okay.
But how can I say?
You said it, Neanderthal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm
all right.
Troglodyte. You could say troglodyte.
Let's get back to comics, boys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't let it go.
Order of Dylan says Mr. Sean Cheetah and Cheshire Rub the Justice League is back.
I fucked up. It was a Freudian slip. You gotta let shit like that go, Dylan. I'm sorry. All right. And one day there will be a Patreon episode or something that is a drunk AMA. And if you ask me to tell you what really happened that day, I will be compelled because there's nothing that will be able to stop me.
Sean off the 5 blue moons is dangerous.
It'll be all super chats. You can't. There's no. On that day, there will be no free chat.
No free chat.
Look at Near here saying any updates on the book club, trying to get us on
track
right. Here.
Near's right. Near is absolutely
also, I like
right.
how he knows the format now.
yeah. Near is absolutely right. So we will shift gears. For the patrons, you guys are voting right now on the book club for November's Avengers month. We are going full throttle with the Avengers this month, and we've got 4 tremendous options for you guys to choose from. And I want to see those votes going through the roof over on patreon.com/thecomicspals. Any member of the Patreon gets a vote. So make sure that you head on over there and cast it. Your options are New Avengers by Bendis and all the incredible artists, Avengers by Hickman and all the artists, Avengers No Surrender, which was a massive jam session style event that featured a ton of great creators, and then of course Avengers Disassembled. So those are the 4 choices that you have. If you have not cast your vote, get out and vote. Rock the vote. No Diddy. This Tuesday is the finale of your time to vote, so get that in. And then, of course, we will be doing the book club as we always do at the end of the month. That will be November 25th at 8 p.m.
Cool.
Come hang out with us.
You guys have any preference to this?
I have heard a lot about No Surrender. Like, I've read No Surrender, but I don't remember it fondly. But everyone tells me how amazing it was. So there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to go back and read it. But if I had to choose, I want to read my comfort food, and that's New Avengers by Bendis.
That's your comfort food. What would Hickman's Avengers be if it's not comfort food? That's you're eating a deconstructed chef's meal.
Yeah, that's when I want to like think about death and heaviness, which is all the time in my life. I love thinking about heavy shit, but it's also an arduous task because you got to get through that new Avengers where like they kill all the Wakandans in the flood, and Doctor Strange is like sacrificing his soul to dark magic. There's a lot of heaviness in that stuff.
Yeah, Hickman's, you got microgreens and a pea Kool-Aid underneath your dish for that one. Yeah.
Micro.
Was it omakase? Was it omakase?
Yeah.
Omakase,
Oh, I was drunkly near an omakase last night, and I really want.
That's dangerous. That's good.
Adam, have you read all this stuff?
It's been a minute since I've read like a full Avengers storyline. That Bendis storyline, I remember that one. But for the most part, I will sample like the first issue of if it's a big storyline, I'll sample the first issue just to get a feeling for what people are reading. But the truth, in truth, my reading habits are, what do I need in order to do my job, right? And what are we producing, right? The second at Prana, we are helping 4 different publishers come to market, and so there's a whole lot of, there's reading and notes and making suggestions and trying to understand what's good and what's bad, and that takes up a big chunk of my day. As far as what I read. And so when I'm finally relaxing, I have a hard time reading comics anymore. I'll be honest. Like it's real tough for me. It's a very special book that will get my attention at bedtime, So yeah.
I feel like that's an answer that we kind of get a lot. Like a creator will say like, oh, I read what my friends, create.
Yeah.
Or they preview for them.
Right.
Yeah. And that's actually part of why what we're trying to do with the magazine is there's more stuff being created now than ever before.
Yep.
So what cuts through the noise, right? What should you take to your retailer and say, I want this? So yeah.
And I liked it in Comics the magazine where in the Comics Picks Comics, like Gabe picked Good as Dead, the David Lapham book, which I'm really enjoying. So it's cool to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
New Avengers. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say but you'll notice I don't have a recommendation there because when they said, well, what about you? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Your recommendation is Comics the magazine.
TFI, we put out The Future Is. How about that?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Have we said Comics the magazine 10 times yet?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Almost. That's right next to the goal counter.
That's
right.
I can bring the counter back. Yeah.
It's each of us has to say it 10 times. That's really
got it.
So 40 total times we have to say Comics.
Beetlejuice situation. Okay.
So you guys are voting right now for New Avengers. New Avengers is winning the poll. 54% of you have voted New Avengers, but there's still some time. So make sure you cast your vote and let us know what we're going to need to read. And then we're going to have to put a reading order together if New Avengers or Avengers by Hickman wins. So we need some time to figure all that out.
So what happens once you've read it? Like what happens next after that?
So once the book is decided, we all go into our caves and read the book. The community will read it, we'll read it. And then we all can join at the end of the month, the last Tuesday of the month, to talk about the book, talk about our experience with it. We kind of guide them through the history of it, why it exists, what's important about it historically, and whether it's good or not.
That's awesome. That's really good. You know what it sounds like? It's interesting is I was an Eisner judge one year, and essentially what you're doing is what they have to do with everything that came out that year.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's an incredibly hard job. I'm not in any hurry to do it again. But like you really do, and you go through and you just discuss everything that came out this year, and everybody has their favorites, and you're arguing back and forth what makes the ballot, what doesn't make the ballot. And it's a fascinating process because you also everybody comes to it with different experiences. And I remember being in the room and someone saying, I don't even know how to decide what good lettering is. And I was one of the few people who had like a viewpoint on what good lettering was like. So you really come at it with it from different points of view and understanding. It's an incredible process, but cool. But it sounds to me like you guys are just doing a mini Eisners every month. That's good. I like it.
I'll take that. I love that. Thank you. And it's driven by our audience. We don't make the decisions about what gets chosen. We leave it up to them and read whatever they think is fun. And it's cool for us because it often results in us reading things we wouldn't read otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the cool part for me, was there's so much, and then especially in that process, so much that changed how I read books. I've read more manga in that year than I had before, and I, have read more manga since because of that year. So yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah. If we made the call, we'd be reading a lot more Swamp Thing because of Marco.
If you guys would vote for it, but
Nope.
No one ever does.
Nope.
no one ever does. So
we're working on a Swamp Thing feature for Comics Magazine, by the way, Marco.
Written by Marco.
Well, he hasn't brought me a pitch yet, so I'm not saying no, but whatever, we'll see.
I gotta work on my Howard the Duck
interesting.
pitch.
Interesting.
I have a spicy pitch for you, man.
Let's go.
I can't
I'm so
wait.
ready for it.
I'm off air, hopefully we can talk. Mitchell Bear dropping 20 on us. Thanks for the detailed insight into compact comics. I really appreciate it. I don't currently own any compacts. I'd love to hear which books, either current or upcoming, you each recommend as a great starting point. Spin.
I have one immediately. It's a compact comic that you can pick up, and that's DC's New Frontier by Darwin Cook. They have it in compact form. And I think it is, first of all, fucking bang for your buck. It's still only $10. And it's probably like 2 of these in thickness. And I also think it's like just a great gateway to DC. And Darwin Cook's actually art works perfect for that size as well.
I really think that more people should read Far Sector. And so that's the one I'm going to pump. I really love Far Sector, Green Lantern, Sojourner, written by N.K. Jemisin, art by Jamal Campbell.
Yep.
Tremendous series. And I think that you will fall in love with that character just like I did. And it works in that format. I read it in that. I mean, I read it when it came out, but I reread it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a fond memory of Wonder Woman, the Blood and Guts. That's Azzarello, Cliff Chang on art, and I can imagine similar to a New Frontier that still fits that Darwin Cook-esque style. Cliff Chang has that cartooniness, so I think that'll probably work really well. I'd highly recommend that. First 12 issues of it, get a nice chunk.
Oh yeah.
Watchmen? I don't know.
Sure.
Sure.
That was one of my entry points. Yeah.
If you really want to dig deep into the internet, somewhere in, I think it's a CBR, in their archive, is something that a man named Car D'Angelo, who's a retailer in LA, in the LA area, he and I, when the movie was coming out for Watchmen, we did something called rereading the Watchmen. And we went through issue by issue, and we had a different guest on each issue. I think I would say that our biggest guests were at the time, Mark Waid, I think, did an issue with us. But the one that I loved was Damon Lindelof did number 12 with us. And I will say that, it's entirely possible that's what inspired him to do the TV series. Could be. I'm not saying it's not. But I will say that you go back, you want to dig deep into a book that was incredible. I know it's just it's a hit, right? It's the classic, but issue 5, his Fearsome Symmetry, that is a completely symmetrical book.
Yes.
Nobody's ever done that before or since that I know of, right? I mean, something where the narrative mirrors the first page to the last page, where each page in and of itself mirrors the one that the reverse on the reverse side of the staple. That book there's a reason that it is a classic, and it's because they did so much incredible work. But my favorite story about it is because we did that series, we got invited to this dinner by somebody in the comics industry who had a regular dinner, and Cara and I are sitting there, and Dave Gibbons sits down next to us, and we're like, oh wow. And one of my favorite stories that came out of that night was he was saying that during issue 5, they were already so far behind. It's a 12 issue run. They were so far behind that they lived on other side. He and Alan lived on other sides of London. And he would get 3 pages of script that Alan would type it up, give it to a cab driver who would drive it over to Dave. Dave would send that same cab driver back with the pages that he had drawn. And then Alan is using the pages that he drawn to get ahead of the script. And that's how they did this incredibly intricate story that to this day, I don't know how you pull it off. and yet they were sending pages back and forth with a cab driver.
That is so British sounding.
Wow.
And pre-internet, let me tell you.
Oof.
Yeah,
Where's that cabbie? I want to talk to that cabbie.
I know, no kidding.
Do you know what you had in your hands? Like,
word.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah,
you know how much money you were trafficking at that point,
dude? Seriously, you're gonna buy that cab 30 times over just with the pages that you had in your cab. Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously.
And I had no idea that you wrote for CBR, Adam. This is
I just liked it. Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah. They have a playlist for rereading the Watchmen still.
I'm a little embarrassed to reread that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
This is cool.
December 19th, 2008.
Yeah. Unlike our written pieces, which are expunged from the internet.
That's right.
Well, that's a different matter. Damn. Did you watch that Watchmen show?
So good.
Oh, yep.
It was so good. Also, terrifying how much it has mirrored where we are now.
Yep.
Right? It was prophetic. Oh,
can I say something sacrilegious right now?
Let's go.
Oh no.
Don't you do it. Oh no.
I prefer the show.
I thought that's what you were gonna say, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To the book or the movie?
Should be.
To the book. And the reason why. I think Watchmen is brilliant, but the reason why is that the show or the book doesn't have any real true acknowledgement of racial problems. And the way the show expands on everything that Watchmen did, but it includes this critical piece that was just not in the original text.
Yeah.
I feel like it just sews it up in such a way, and the acting is so incredible. I fell in love. To me, it's the best singular season of television ever.
I don't know if blue skin counts as melanated.
Well,
you should I'd love to hear your take if you haven't. I hate to go into television land here because this is a show about comics.
It's okay.
But have you been watching The Lowdown? Have you seen that?
I have not.
If you is one of my favorite recent seasons of television. Ethan Hawke doing essentially a crime drama in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh,
which feeds back to Watchmen, the CTV series, right?
Tim Blake Nelson is on this too.
Yeah. Keith David's on it. Yeah, I'm in.
I love Keith David.
I love Keith David.
So good. It's like a cowboy version of Chinatown. It's
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, you guys are gonna dig it. All right,
yeah,
cool.
I'll definitely check that out. That's very cool. You guys are trying to get us over that goal, huh? I see some super chats coming in. We got 3 to go. Flo Dameron with the $4.99. My top 5 Avengers: Hickman, and Hickman, because he spits hot fire.
I feel like spitting hot fire would hurt. Like Chamber does that.
So does Dylon. But Flo, you only put 4 Hickmans in your super chat, so you're missing 1 for a top 5. Come on.
I think I got your reference there, Sean.
Yeah. Jay Sage with a £4.99. Sean, my nemesis. Don't think I have a fave-run, but my favorite Avenger is Wonder Man. Such a great character that could use the Ewing touch. I think Al Ewing would be a tremendous writer for Wonder Man. We are getting the Jerry Duggan Wonder Man, so I love Jerry Duggan. I think he can write fun stuff, so that would be cool. And Jay, are you my nemesis? I don't know if you're my nemesis yet, dude.
The Miller book?
No, not the Miller book.
Okay, got it.
My nemesis right now is Entertain Me. That's
true.
my nemesis.
That's true, yeah. You're going to have people fighting to be your nemesis, geez.
Yes.
You're going to have a rogues gallery by next week.
Oh, undoubtedly. All right, so we got to get to our top 5 Avengers. We're doing a couple a week until we get to number 1. Well, we're doing 1 this week because otherwise we'll just run out. So we're going to give our number 3 right now. Adam's the guest. Adam, do you have a favorite? You don't have to give us a top 5 or anything like that. Do you have a favorite member of the Avengers?
Oh, don't do this to me.
There's got to be one you love.
Oh man, come back to me. Give me.
Okay. All
right.
I'll go.
All right.
My number 3 is Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch. Even though she done killed them all, she killed one of my boys who doesn't make my list, but Jack of Hearts. I love like Wanda. In my eyes, is an Avenger first before anything else. Before she's a mutant. Before she's like an X-Men or even like part of the Brotherhood. Like she was the drama in the Avengers. Her and Vision were the heart and the love interest, and that is like kind of persisted. I think she's in more recent times is really just is relegated to the magic user, which I don't care much for. Because I like when I think she could lead an Avengers team, which hasn't really been explored yet. And I think, because of Disassembled, because of House of M, that's led to some really, really great Avengers books that she has been the linchpin for. And I also think Elizabeth Olsen's pretty chill. As a fellow Olsen, I have to support. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you say Scarlet Witch. My number 3 is Vision.
There we go. Cool.
For very same reasons.
It's like our dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
Yeah. You were here on the on Thursday, so yeah.
Things
You guys fell in love on Thursday.
A little bit.
Well, fuck out.
Yeah, we really got to stare at each other's eyes.
That's right.
Fair enough.
But for similar reasons, I think the romance angle, I think the stuff that Tom King has done to add to the depth of the character, I think the origins as initially coming in as villainous, but that conversion piece, robotics in general. So from that end, yeah, Vision's number 3.
Robotics in general, quote Marco. Because you are.
I like that angle of it.
Adam, I don't know if you know this, but we suspect that Marco might be android, cyborg, AI. We haven't figured it out yet. I've met him in real life, so I think AI is off the table, but who knows?
Well, AI is off the table in person, but at no point do you know whether or not the screen you see before you.
That's true. You don't know.
Yeah.
He might just be. He might have just set himself up an AI that represents him for the show.
My avatar.
Okay, Marco, give me a recipe for coconut cream pie.
Oh no.
Okay, all right. AI deconfirmed. Good.
Oh, he could have just said some bullshit out of his mouth, and then that would have been AI. Right?
I should have said a recipe that I knew Marco would know off the top of his head, because that would have been funny.
Entertain me with the $5. Says, am I your Joker or Green Goblin, Sean? That's a great question, dude. You're my Joker. You're my Joker.
Wow.
Kefis is my Green Goblin, because I think Green Goblin is worse than the Joker.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Green Goblin killed fucking Gwen Stacy.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm just saying, like, compared to the Joker, what did the Joker do?
Poison the water hole.
He's killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but not
because you don't know any of them. Doesn't make them not people, Sean.
They're
shot
anonymous.
Barbara Gordon.
They're red shirts. He shot Barbara, but she's alive. She good. I saw her running around on the rooftops.
Thanks, New 52.
Robin.
Yeah. Well, Sean doesn't care much for Jason Todd.
Listen.
Come on.
Listen. I don't blame Joker. I blame the audience, because these motherfuckers, and Adam, listen, you are a part of that generation. So what were you doing? I'm holding you accountable. You people voted for Jason Todd, a child, to be beaten to death.
That's true.
What is wrong with you?
Did you vote for that, Adam?
We really are the worst. I think I did. I think I did.
Let's look up his voting record. Let's go.
Listen, when I say I voted, I mean that my local comic shop had a handmade cardboard box with slits they cut out of it that you're supposed to slide a ballot into.
Oh my God.
Like Survivor.
Does my ballot get to a place where it decides let's just say
dubious.
I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
Yes. But I have no idea how I voted. I'll be honest.
Well, okay.
But
I do remember that experience of sliding that piece of paper and getting caught on the cardboard because it wasn't real clean cut. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then we've got Flo Dammer with $4.99 who says, how much did the Wanda industrial complex pay you to say this, Tyler?
I will say Wanda's got some shooters online. And I'm making sure I'm on their good side.
Watch out.
They are rabid and vicious, and they're like barbs for comics. Those are Nicki Minaj fans, if you guys are unaware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aaron Ruiz, I'm not a Jason hater. I was calling out people who voted for him to be killed. I didn't vote for him to be killed. I would never vote for
No.
someone to be killed, child to be killed. I'm not like Adam Freeman. I love children. What?
He doesn't remember how he voted, which it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
a little.
yeah. A lot of people didn't know
Yeah.
what they were doing in Nazi Germany either. A lot of people said, "Wait, what happened here?" I woke up one day and oh my god! Right,
I would have voted for him to be killed. Honestly.
dark.
Yeah,
Real dark.
that's the story right there.
Exactly. Plot for the plot.
That's right.
All right.
Much more interesting. Character dies.
Well, my number 3 Avenger is Tony Stark, Iron Man. Iron Man is one of the core 3. And I'm not going to lie to you, all the final 3 on my list are the core 3. The order may surprise you, but I just don't see how else you go. Iron Man is not only a brilliant mind, but he's the kind of brilliant mind that can see the future needs of humanity and prepare for them. This man built an Iron Man suit in a cave with a box of scraps. That's brilliance. And he chose, instead of using that brilliant mind to make weapons of war or do whatever, just make a ton of money, he said, I've already done all that. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be a superhero. And yeah, at first, it was a fun flight of fancy, but he turned out to be one of the greatest heroes that Earth has ever known, a founding member of the Avenger that has saved not just Earth, but the universe more times than we can count. Iron Man absolutely belongs on this list and also is responsible for one of the, if not the greatest Marvel event of all time, Civil War. Where would we be if Iron Man didn't make the decision to be a rat snitch and team up with the government? Come on.
Are you pro registration?
I am, yeah. Drama.
Build it up.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm pro registration, yes, but only in real life. In the comics, I was on Captain America's side. In real life, I need them wrangled up. And I only say that because I don't want to send my child to a school.
Do not clip this.
I don't want to send my child to a school where one of these mutant children just, oh my God, I got my first zit, and then they blow up and kill my kid at the school.
No nitro.
Nuh-uh. Can't do it.
So you want the superhero version of Ice showing up at these schools?
Sean has been
taking people out.
Wow.
That's what you're looking for.
That's what I'm smelling too.
Are now. I see what's going on.
He's excited about it.
I don't judge people by the color of their skin. I judge them by the content of their power set. And if these motherfuckers are dangerous, get them away from my kids.
Damn, he said, I don't care. I judge your genetics.
Yes.
A lot of people. I wonder who else said that, Sean.
Listen.
Yes, that's fine. We're gonna go back to some eugenics bullshit right now. I see how it is. See what's happening on this show.
Yes, my imaginary kid, but I'm an uncle now, so I have a deeper mentality. All right, I'm thinking about these kids.
You don't even understand. He has a niece.
Yeah.
He has a niece now.
That's
you don't
right.
Understand what it's like?
That's right.
And what happens if she's a mutant, Sean? What then?
What happens then?
Well,
then you have a new arc in your story. And that's narrative storytelling.
Then I have to see things differently, maybe.
She's a government employee, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
She gets a built-in job. 50 state initiative. You go to Idaho.
Yeah, exactly. Ship her off. She'll learn herself something.
Yeah, Taskmaster and Yellow Jacket, the notorious wife beater, can teach her how to.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Now
Sorry. Hank Pym Shade all of a sudden.
Can't believe you made it. Went there.
Made it dark.
Did that to him.
Luna says her top 5 is Thor, Jane Foster, Wiccan, Scarlet Witch, Miss Marvel, and Hawkeye. Kate Bishop. I like that team.
That's a good team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how these top 5s are becoming teams almost in a way. You're creating a team.
Yeah, that would be a great squad. Touring Grandpa says Captain America at number 1, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. What a good username.
Touring Grandpa. Yeah. Just touring everybody's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Adam, did you think about that number 1?
I'm so irritated that nobody has Darkhawk on their list. I mean, it's
there we go. There. Yeah.
Why Two Gun Kid? Hello. Obviously, let's dig a little deeper into the bench, shall we? I mean, come on.
Go right ahead. Give me 3 more.
You guys are stuck on what the people who made the movies. That's fine. That's okay. No, I literally hit it with Wikipedia. I'm sorry. Yeah,
you're gonna put a Stingray and Night Thrasher and Tigra on your list too. Actually, Tiger almost made my list, so I can't be talking.
Yeah, good.
She's on my list. I mean, not my top 5 Avengers list.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
Others.
Self-report.
That's okay. Adam's not a real fan of comics. No worries.
Oh my God. Whatever.
Listen, you wanted to do the show.
I know. And I stuck into the deep end too.
Yeah.
I stuck around. Last time you let me go early.
Yeah. So this is what you get.
Let's go. That's fine. I'll take the shame. Yeah, that's fine.
Entertain me with a $5 gets us over the goal, which means we will end the show today playing the GOAT game. We have never missed it. It's been like 4 months, so thank you so much for that. Entertain me says top 5: Luke Cage, Spider-Woman, Thor, Wanda, Beast. Honorable mention: Wasp, Vision, Rogue, Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers. Well, brother, that's a whole team right there.
Yeah. Honorable mention everyone else.
Is Entertain Me Bendis?
Yes. Secretly.
Yeah.
Dan Trudeau says Dr. Druid, Rage, Gilgamesh, Jack of Hearts, and Swordsman. You are after Tyler's heart.
Oh yeah, I love Rage. He's just like a luchador. He's like a street luchador.
Stray Light Runner says Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man.
Nice.
I fuck with that.
Wait, we have info on the touring grandpa. He's bicycle touring. He started in Canada on May 29th, and he's currently in Laredo, Mexico. Holy hell.
What?
That's insane.
He's on Rideabout.
You biked from Canada to Mexico, and you're a grandpa?
Yeah. Oh,
I don't even know how to ride a bike.
Oh, that'll stop you.
That's some New Yorker shit right there.
He's good at riding the train.
Wow. Hell yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. You know what? I had a dream last night.
Oh, okay.
So and in my dream, I saw the face of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the face of my dread. I saw the cover to Absolute Batman number 15, which revealed the true form of the Joker. Yuck. And this motherfucker is scary. Look at that Ben Oliver cover. See, I don't know if you have that one, Tyler.
I have them all.
Okay, perfect. That is a vile cover and exactly the one I'm going to need. I'm going to need that cover A and that cover C because this is disgusting. And I got to tell you, this creative team, Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, it feels like they make must-buy issues like every handful because issue 13, I think it was the debut of Catwoman, and that sold out and has done tremendously. This one's going to sell out and do tremendously. These guys cannot be stopped.
This Absolute Joker looks like what happens when I drink too much cough syrup.
Oh.
This is my NyQuil demon. Is what this is.
This is leaning towards it territory.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, now I don't like it, Marco. Thanks.
Adam, I know you may not be actively reading Absolute Batman, but certainly you hear about everything. You hear about all the excitement. You've probably seen this image or these images.
Oh yeah.
What are you? What's going on over there?
I mean, it's I go back to my old friend Donnie Cates, right? I think one of the things that Donnie did incredibly well was recognize that every issue needs to sell itself.
Come on,
right?
Yes.
Every issue, there has to be something exciting that gets you to the next one. And, and there has to be a feeling that the stakes need to be increased every time as well. That's what they're doing. They're saying, look, yes, we have a hit, but we can't just sit and let it be a hit. You have to have something to get you here next month and the next month and the next month. It is, you get it to issue 15. How many, they've done 9 printings, not counting the Batman Day printing, not counting, there was one other. So it's like 11 printings all day of that first issue. Like, you don't get that by just doing like what we talked about when we were talking about the 90s, where they would do like one issue after one issue after issue one. You're building a wall with bricks. Yeah. Right. And they just keep putting solid bricks on that wall. And I think that's what they're doing. It is incredible to watch it happen in real time. And I think that they, it's a masterclass in how to do mainstream comics and keep everybody interested and make them want more, want to dig in more. I think that's a beautiful part about it.
And this issue's by Jock too on art.
Yes.
So it's
Oh,
Snyder
yeah?
teaming with his
Yep.
boy there, which is like they've been real good at giving Dragotta time between arcs to
Yeah.
catch up and actually put out the quality shit he puts out. But Jock doing this is like there's a Jock cover and I'm like, oh fuck.
That's the one.
There
That's
we
the
go.
scary one for me.
Yeah, it's very Witches.
Yes.
These guys understand each other implicitly, so I'm excited to see what this one, and it's a one and done too. So Jock could put his whole strap into it. I don't know why.
He had months to put this together.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's Joker too. They've been working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, it goes back to the brilliance that is what DC is right this second. That crew has just done an incredibly impressive job, editorially, sales wise, formatting, how they're getting it into new venues.
And I want to say this because there are people who have left us comments saying, "Oh, you guys are shilling for DC, whatever. It's all DC." Adam is not a member of this show. Like he's not a comics pal, right? He's a friend. He's a pal.
Honorary pal. Yeah.
He's saying the same thing we always say. So the point is that this is what the industry is saying. Everyone with eyeballs is looking at what's happening and going, "Whoa, DC's doing some shit."
Yeah. To steal a phrase from earlier, they're spitting fire.
Yep. There you go.
100%. I don't know. I'm continually impressed. As somebody who knows, we talked earlier about how Kirkman and his crew know the industry so well.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that what they're doing comes from a very deep place of wanting to do right by what the comics industry is, but also understanding that we need to take it to the next place, right? We need to reintroduce a new generation. We need to give new people their first Batman story. God damn, look at that cover. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, the Brian Bolin, that's a Brian Bolin one up right now too.
Yeah.
And that's like Bolin is still iterating on his style. I didn't know this was a Brian Bolin cover until I saw the credit.
Isn't that so good? I feel like that we did not have that growing up. For me, where we had people who they settle into a style and that style was what it was.
Yeah.
But there are a few artists now. I mean, there are still a couple of the Image artists who are still to this day. I mean, Jim Lee should be sitting on his laurels, but man, that man is still developing.
Yeah.
Right. Every time we see something from Mark Silvestri, he's still developing. We see it. There are a few people from that generation who have not lost the curiosity and have not given in to that calcification of a style. And Bolin's another example. That guy should be just sitting on his laurels and making everything just real simple and clean, and just cashing the check and making the colorist do all the work. But you look at that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
No. 100%.
Beautiful stuff. I can't wait for this issue to come out.
Man, I gotta go and see. This is getting me this is making me almost double. I'm not gonna double dip. I won't buy it digitally if I buy it physically, but it's gonna make me want to buy it physically.
Yeah, that's the advantage of it.
I fucking when I went to the shop, I bumped into Cliff, one of our viewers. And he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, that was weird." But yeah, it's making me want to go to the shop a little more.
This issue's gonna be out December 10th.
Yep. Oh,
So
a real holiday feel for it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Stick this in a stocking. Stick that cover C in a stocking. Cover B.
No, we're not bending
not a
the cover.
stuffer.
We're not stuffing comics. This is gonna get wrapped.
You don't want to wake up on Christmas and see that cover C staring at
I live
you?
alone, Sean. There's nothing I'm waking up to Christmas.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
Not you.
All right, I took that personally, but
You could wrap it up for the cat. The cat could open it.
I tried.
Yeah.
They don't really care much for the wrapping paper.
Whatever. All
Yeah.
right.
I've tried.
Oh,
You do the thing where you do shop drunk and you wrap it and then you forget and you open it and you're like, oh, happy drunk me got me a gift.
Actually, drunk me giving me gifts sounds great. I like that
Sounds
idea.
like a good time.
Yeah. I got some Blue Label I can crack open.
Marvel announced last week that their next event, not their next event as in the one that's coming up most immediately, because we already know that's Ultimate Endgame, and not the one that's coming up after that, because we already know that's a Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage fuckfest.
Death Spiral.
But
Yeah.
the one
Fuck.
after that is Armageddon, written by Chip Zdarsky. We don't know the artist yet on the core Armageddon series, but there's a lot of reason to be excited about this. We know that the Ultimate Origin boxes are coming to mainline with Miles Morales, and with that, we are getting new people with new powers. So there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff going on. Marvel this week, though, made the announcement that in February of 2026, we are going to be able to read the first opening salvo of Armageddon, which is Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon. This is going to be by Chip Zdarsky with art by Luca Maresca. There's a really great the cover A is Leinil Yu, who I'm always happy to see. This is the solicit. When an old acquaintance drags Logan into the search for a new abducted mutant subject, the terrifying methods of the defunct Weapon X program are revealed to be alive and well. As Wolverine follows the scent of the feral Tyler.
Oh.
Tyler, you going feral, bro?
I'm always feral, buddy.
Hey, there it is.
I'm out in those streets.
Hey.
And the scent of his own trauma, he finds himself in a deadly race against a super soldier creating corporation called Prime Warrior, which has just hired a very familiar face, the fully armed and upgraded Nuke.
Nuki Brown?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I have to be honest. I did not seen that story yet, and it's good to know. It's good to know that it's finally being announced why Chip can't do ZCN. So,
yeah, he's too busy controlling Marvel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who would have thought the Howard the Duck Rider years later?
Who would have thought the sex criminals artist, right?
Well, did you see that cover
dude.
of Chip's cover of Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon is full frontal Wolverine.
Yup. He put that, well, it's covered. The dick is covered.
It's covered. But he's got a little doodad there on his doodad. But it's a Chip cover. It's also Chip's covers lately have been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I mean, he would produce this thing, right? That we do, ZCM. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Everything that is editorial is Chip.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow.
Does he sleep?
Wow.
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't entirely know how he does it, honestly. But the first thing that he did that made sense to me was when he said, I just can't do this anymore. Oh, well, good. I'm glad to know there are limits.
That's true. Yeah.
Jay says with a $4.99. I'm more a DC guy, but between Chip's event next year and the ending of Imperial, Marvel might be in a good spot. All new classic heroes, I'm in.
Yeah.
Gonna see how that evolves.
Well, we talked about it last week, all about how Marvel is due.
Yeah.
I think Marvel is absolutely due. We've got a video coming out on that subject soon, but Adam's here, so I want to ask Adam. When you look at Marvel right now, do you look at a company that maybe is a little bit resting on their laurels and coasting, or do you look at a company that is doing their best, they just are on the back foot relative to DC, who just appears to be in their moment of glory right now? How do you parse that out?
My take is, again, having worked with Chip and having had some view into what they're now announcing. And I run a podcast, we do a live show, and so we lean into the drama of it. But I will say that I think that, the success of Absolute doesn't happen without the success of Ultimate, right? There's no way that they didn't see what was happening in the Ultimate universe and go, oh, right, God, okay, we got to restart. We got to give people the jumping on point. We have to give them their version, their Batman. And so I think that a lot of what DC is doing started off in following that obvious success. DC then went on to do their own innovations and use that success to grow more. And I think what's happening at Marvel is, they are at the end of their storyline. We haven't seen the end of the Absolute storyline, right? We don't know what comes after Absolute for DC. Maybe they go through a period where it's a little start and stoppy because they're waiting to get the kind of the big engines running. Our industry really is about the seasons of the year as much as it is anything else. So you're not going to see anything really new until May, right? You're not going to see anything really exciting until July, right? So when you see something ending in October, November, it's not like they're going to come right in behind it and go, oh yeah, well, here's another hit. Here, we're going to get the engine running again. No, what they're going to do is they're going to set all the dominoes up so that when they push that first domino, they have that opportunity. So like we were talking earlier about, Jock having months to do his Joker book. There's some version of Jock who is building that for what's next for Marvel right now. Right. I'm not saying it's Jock, but what I'm saying is I think, having the respect I do of the crew that they have. And these are all people who know how these trains run. This is not their 30th rodeo.
Yep.
So they're building towards what that is. Now, will it be a hit? I mean, that's always a crapshoot. Nobody knew for certain that Hickman could restart the Marvel universe the way he did, in the way that he did. Nobody knew for certain that was going to work. Nobody knew for certain that Snyder could restart the DC universe the way that he did. It's always, you go into these things feeling pretty confident that how shit works. And then, occasionally you get taught a new lesson and you learn that lesson and you go make something better. So, I think they're in a position right now where they're on the back end of that story arc, for the narrative of that is Marvel, and they just haven't gotten to act 1 yet of the next chapter. So I think we're going to see that act 1. My guess is that we're probably seeing that in, I would pay very close attention to what they're doing here, because I think it's probably setting up what's next.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I think that's a very measured take. Not the kind we appreciate around here.
I'm so sorry, man. I know you like drama. I know.
But
no, it's on fire. Nobody
Marvel's dying.
What they're doing. Oh my God.
Yeah, we need a clickbait headline. Come on.
Tom Brevoort's gonna lose his job. He'll have to sell his hats. No,
I'd buy one.
Easily.
Cut to Tom Brevoort selling fake hats on Canal Street, trying to earn a buck.
Marco, what does CB have to say about this?
What does he have to say about this?
You have CB as well. That's right.
Yeah. That's right. I got these. Oh, wait.
Yeah, where's Dan? Get Dan. Marco stole these, by the way, from your Comic-Con.
God, really?
Yeah, we're at the panel and the people left off stage, so Marco just grabbed them.
Oh no,
that's not. I just said Marco stole these things. Marco did not steal that hat.
You stole Tom Brevoort's hat.
That is not Tom Brevoort's hat.
This is my hat.
Marco.
I really want to see Tom Brevoort in that hat.
Marco, where are you wearing that hat to?
Oh,
Marco, where are you wearing that hat to?
Listen, you don't need to worry about what Marco does after hours.
That's
not
a
for you
piece.
Huh?
You look like the hat. You look like the hat man. You look like Pharrell.
Marco after dark.
Occasionally,
I went to a shop in Brooklyn. State of
I bet.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You got to see the whole outfit.
Right
you look like you're going to a Sinners fan event.
The movie. Sinners.
The movie.
Right.
It's a whole cultural phenomenon. Nice job.
That was good. Well, it was a good movie.
I agree.
They had good clothes.
They did.
Yeah. Common sense with a $4.99. Jimmy should be. He means Jimmy Hudson. Jimmy should be the protagonist of my. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Jimmy should be the protagonist, not Logan. Origin box will have 6160. Robert's Quantum Bands ? Also, did you read Infinity Watch with the new heroes?
All I know is if Jimmy Hudson has no fans left, then something happened to Common Sense.
Right. Yeah.
And I did not read the Infinity Watch. That's where Star debuts, though, right? I think Star, that Kelly Thompson took over in her Captain Marvel run, debuted in that. It's where like a whole bunch of nobodies got powers based on the Infinity Gems. I think Star was one of them.
I didn't read Infinity Watch. I don't know about the Quantum Bands, and Jimmy should be the protagonist, not Logan. I mean, common sense, bro. Like, I love you, but that's not common sense. Jimmy Hudson has 5 fans. Yeah. Wolverine has 5 million fans. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Jimmy Hudson's just chilling right now.
Yeah. He just had a book. He was just in that TVA book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's around. He's somewhere.
Can I get a shout out to somebody in the chat here? Jamie Colville, like, is a big active on my socials, and I see him in our chat. And hey,
Cool.
buddy, I want to say that. But he does point out something. Marco, did you wear that hat on Wednesday, this last Wednesday? Because that was the
No.
5th of November.
Yeah.
And it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I did not, unfortunately. That would have been great.
You
for
forgot.
That.
You forgot. You didn't remember. You forgot.
I absolutely did.
Damn, I want to watch that movie again. It's been a while.
Never seen it.
Oh,
It's really good.
Yeah.
No, there's a comic book. Comics book.
Based off one.
I think I saw a compact actually.
Yeah.
They
It's
do.
okay. It's okay, Sean. We'll learn you.
I feel very guilty for not shouting out the comic first.
Wow.
Alan Moore, maybe you've heard of him.
Well,
He's a prominent. He was. You know what? He was before you though. It was before your time. You probably. Why would you know who he is?
Sean prefers the adaptations for Alan Moore stuff rather than the comics.
Right. Apparently, because I really love that Watchmen movie. Boy,
you love that Swamp Thing movie too?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what to say, man.
Did I tell you the story about why I'm responsible for that Watchmen series? I wanted to make sure. I always.
Yep.
Now
we'll get Lindelof on the show next week to confirm.
Oh my god,
that's a get for Sean. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I'd prefer to have Damon Lindelof than Alan Moore.
We talk leftovers.
I'm just trolling now. Now I'm just
You really are, man.
Alan Moore is he's getting clipped on comics Twitter lately for his interviews, and
I'm about to put in my own super chat to be angry about this. This is what my $20.
All right, so we've got just a little bit to go before we free you all, free Adam at this point. Jonathan Hickman, who is one of Marvel's stalwarts, one of the people driving Marvel, although driving them where, I'm not quite sure. But he's driving an entirely other ship as well over on Substack. 3 Worlds, 3 Moons is his Substack, and there's been just so much stuff coming out of that camp. If you're not a part of it, it's not just Hickman and Mike Del Mundo. It's a whole crop of creators who are pushing out really cool stuff through there. And so there is a free comic book coming out, that is out, called Shift. Shift number 1 is available for free. The first 13 issues of the 60-page graphic novel that is an entry point for anybody who wants to find their way into 3 Worlds, 3 Moons. This quote comes right from the Substack itself. Shift tells the story of a lost age of magic and brotherhood forged within it. This is it. Today, we are thrilled to present the first episode of Shift, a brand new 64-page original graphic novel. Not only that, but as a special surprise, we're making this premiere installment free to read for everyone. Please help us get the word out about this release by sharing it far and wide. I haven't had the chance to read anything from 3W3M, but I will be reading this because it's free.
Yeah. This as it's grown in scope, I subscribe to just like the updates for free, but the cast of creators that they have on art, on the writing side, the way that they're formulating an entire universe, it looks rad.
Mike Del Mundo's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So once I saw the pages for this, I was like, oh, maybe I'll figure out how to read this.
This is hype.
Yeah,
Very excited for this.
I honestly, it's not really on my radar, but as you talking about it now, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
How do you feel about Substack, Adam?
How do I feel about Substack?
Substack and comics, obviously.
Yeah, of course. It was an interesting time when Substack was paying these guys to start their Substacks, right?
Yeah.
It was a very interesting time to see them all do that. And now so many of them are just basically using it as a newsletter. I personally always struggle with the idea of somebody else owning my feed, you know? Like I don't like we have a newsletter that we put out every Friday about the comics industry. I could easily do that as a Substack and maybe pick up some more readers that are in that ecosystem, in the same way that you're going to see different people if you crowdfund on Kickstarter versus crowdfunding on BackerKit or someplace like that, right? So all of that to say that there's a culture there that I never got caught up in. And so it's hard for me to say value what that culture is. I think it's fascinating that you can launch an entire series and launch an entire like publishing initiative in that place. And I think it's always good to have that. But it also leads to, we are in a period now where, especially on the creator owned side, these guys have to flip every switch. Yeah. Right? They have to do the Substacks, they have to do the crowdfunding, they have to do their, their stuff through Image or their stuff that's been self created. If you are James Tinian, right, you have to have the Image books and the distillery books and the stuff that you're doing on your own through your Substack or whatever, and you are creating extra content. All of it is a massive opportunity, but it's also is just a shifting game for them. Like they can no longer just show up and do the work, right? There's no longer, I sit down, I write for 3 or 4 hours, I answer a few emails, and then I go watch TV for the rest of the night. That doesn't happen anymore. You have to be building a brand, and you have to be building a system around your creativity. And it's, like I said, it's a huge job. I mean, you guys are doing it. I do it, right? I should be just a consultant, but I don't necessarily, I'm not willing to just do that. So we have to do things like the podcasts and the communities and the, different products and different things. It's just the nature of the beast today. So as far as Substack itself goes, it's not on my radar, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. It just means that I haven't figured out how to, teach anybody to do it yet. So
yeah. Incorporate it into the whole stack, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because there isn't just one answer anymore. Now some people do limit themselves and get really good at it. We have a client that we're signing right now that has an amazing brand on Kickstarter. That's all he's ever done. It's just do Kickstarter books. And so we're going to take him into the direct market and help him build into the comic shops. That's so you can do that, but at some point you realize, like we talked about with the compact editions versus the single issues, once you've already done the work, once you've already paid the artists and the crafts people to do, like, the lettering and the production design and all of that, once that work is done, you can just leverage it over here, and then you leverage it over here, and then you leverage it over here, because there's so many different markets. Once again, pulling it together, there's no the market anymore. So I it's a wonderful time, right? Because there was a time, if you wanted comic shops, you went to the comic shop. If you wanted comics, you went to the comic shop. That was it. And now it's not even close. That you can be a legitimate comics fan and not go into a comic shop ever, which is incredible, and a little sad, but incredible.
But
yeah,
well, if you want to read Comics the Magazine, you need to go into the shops.
For now. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
Comics the Magazine,
I honestly haven't decided yet. I feel like it's one of those things where I kind of want to be mailing, but I don't really know how the mechanics of that works yet. I do know how we're going to get into comic shops. I think that there's some value in saying that, it's going to be available in other places, because I want people to discover. I think what we're going to build is something that will help you become passionate about comics. So I want that to be discoverable in other places. But yeah, absolutely. Right now, it is for those people who love comics and go into comic shops every day. So, did we say Comics the Magazine 10 times yet? I don't know. Is that?
I think I reached 10.
Okay, it's been 3 hours. So if we haven't, I don't understand what we're doing here.
Marco, I think you're due one more.
At the least, we'll get there at some point.
Oh well, I was giving you your chance right there, but
no, he wants context, man. I appreciate that. He wants to make it a value when he does it, right?
It's brand play.
Yeah, Steve Canaris in chat says, "What's all this capitalism talk? I thought this was a socialist podcast." You got to go on the Patreon for that one, which is ironic.
Let's go to the Patreon for the socialist conversation.
Hey?
Yeah, no, it's good.
We live in a society.
Yep, we do.
I feel comfortable saying that outside of the individuals who were thrown bags to work for Substack on the outset, Substack has not benefited the industry of comics
Yeah.
in the way that I think Nick Spencer suggested it would when he first became the spokesperson for joining Substack. It put a lot of money in that initial wave in their hands, but that did not really trickle down. So I don't know if I want to say I'm frustrated by that, but I don't think that the experiment was a success for us. It was a success for those individuals and whoever they worked with.
And I wonder if it was almost negative to main comics because we haven't had a Spencer book since.
Well, I think that is, and I don't want to, I mean, I think that there are some people who didn't love Nick Spencer after all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Well, I also wonder if all of Hickman's energy is in this too, rather than the Marvel stuff, because we've talked about his Marvel output. But
yeah, I think Hickman is Hickman. You know,
he's got some kind of graph at home that he's making, and
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
In his hyperbolic time chamber.
yeah.
It's I would say it's like a murder board with like, but no, it's we all know it's like some sort of 3D thing that he can only visualize with his meta glasses on. That he is layered, and he does a whole lot of time doing this motion.
Yeah.
And he's doing things like that.
It's like Iron Man.
It's Minority Report.
Exactly. That's what Hickman's house looks like. We
He's
all know
enhancing a lot. He's doing a lot of
a
enhancing.
whole lot of enhancing.
Zoom enhance. Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, again, it goes back to those guys really have to be thinking about how they're building. He has to think about how he's building the Hickman brand as much as he's building, the Ultimate Universe.
Sure.
That has to be. He has to be keeping that in mind, and that's part of the beauty of what things are happening right now.
Luna says, "I feel like I'm being sold stuff." What do you feel like you're being sold, and is it working? I don't know what we're selling.
Are you buying? Because
oh man, we sell shit on this podcast every week. We sell comics, not our comics, other people's comics. That's the job, kids.
That's right.
Last news item of the day, and it's really more of just like a cool PSA. So a company called PUGW, Pan Galactic Universe Worldwide. They are pushing out. Sorry,
this is a wild name.
I know.
Yeah.
They're pushing out something that I think is really interesting. That I think I'm probably going to pick this up. So it's a behind the scenes. It's called Behind the Panels of Secret Wars, and it's available on Kickstarter right now. And so what it is it's a look. It's a deep dive into the 2015 Secret Wars event, the Hickman Ribbich book. And it's got all kinds of interviews with creators, some of whom were a part of it, Hickman and Assad. But it's also got like Jason Aaron, Kieran Gillen, Jerry Duggan, Tom Brevoort is a part of it. And so it's got interviews and behind the scenes look at how they put this together, how they managed to nuke the line of comics and then bring it back. All that kind of good stuff. It's being put together by Ellie Pyle. And the editor-in-chief over there is John Barber, who, fun fact, was my teacher when I took the comics experience course.
Oh, cool.
And so he's working at PUGW now. And so they're putting together this incredible book. They put together other works before, but this is the first one that landed on my radar. For any fan of Secret Wars, I think this is looking like a must buy. And over on the Kickstarter, you can get just the book edition for $60.
300 pages.
Yeah, 800 pages, $60 is the get-in price. I think it looks so cool.
That's cool.
Very cool.
I wish we get more of these. Honestly, this sounds really neat.
I have this little private collection that I've been building that I occasionally am able to show some off. In that we talked about that episode of the podcast that went into all the people that make a comic. We showed one of the pieces. I have one of the images that I have. But anytime I talk to somebody in editorial, I say, "Do you have whiteboard pictures on your phone?" Because I want those. Because what happens is these editors will get into a room and they'll say, "All right, what does this look like? Right? How are all these pieces fitting together?" And you end up with these incredible things. I have a bunch of them from Valiant that we did back in the day, and that's what started it for me. Dan DiDio sent me some. I've got a couple of events that never happened. He's got the whole whiteboard sketched out.
Wait, do you have 5G?
I do have 5G. Yeah.
Whoa, the board?
I've got the whiteboard. Yeah. Anyway,
right,
all this to say, like, I love this shit. This is these because these things are so difficult to build. Right? This idea that you're going to take all of these writers and artists and some of them already have like storylines they've been working on for a year, and you're like, sorry, dude, cutting it off.
Yep.
And then you got to wrap it up. Well, boy, I thought I had 3 issues. Nope. You got to wrap that shit up. And then they come in and say, all right, now all of you have to work together. The storyline I want to hear is like the year that they built 52. Like that thing, that's got to be a fucking crazy story, Well,
I think George Perez might have been missing from that whiteboard because he was apparently not in the loop for Superman run.
We did a whole deep dive on the subject, I poured through hours of interviews, dozens of articles. Yeah, this is my shit. The New 52 was such a fascinating time, and there are a lot of facts about the New 52 that I think most people just don't know.
Yeah.
With regards to just how chaotic it was, what the editorial was like behind the scenes. Wow. But I mean, think about the magnitude of pushing out 52 new #1s in 1 month.
Yeah.
Who would do that now?
Nobody.
Marvel would probably like to.
Nobody would do that. Why? Because they did it once and they realized it was fucking crazy. Like, we're not doing that ever again.
Yeah, they did a whole new universe now, the absolute universe. They start with 3 books, and I think now we're up to 6, and it's probably not going to extend beyond 7. And some of those are minis.
Because it's hard. It's really hard. Not only editorially is it hard, but it's hard because you also have to decide what you're talking about. From a marketing perspective, how do you communicate to the audience that 6 things are as important as 1 thing? Something has to be the most important thing. And then everything else essentially becomes an also ran. Like you gotta, like, I don't know how you do it as a sales team. How do you say to the market, here's 52 things that you should be paying attention to? You can't. That taking apart the editorial challenge of working with all of those people. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. It's incredible. It's an incredible feat of work that I did a nice long interview with Dan DiDio. We did talk through some of that. It's a good one.
I love Dan DiDio. I want him on this show so bad.
You could probably get him. He's a good dude. He still has a very strong viewpoint, and he is a very strong personality.
I love it. Fierce.
Yeah. And he's in his I'm writing my novel stage of his life, so he's I think he still likes having these conversations, but occasionally too I think he's just ready to move on. So, but because he tried the thing with Frank Miller, and it just they weren't able to make that work. But I don't know, what a fascinating cat he was. He really pissed me off at one point in my life. I was ready to write him off, but whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that from many people about Dan.
He's a polarizing personality, Yeah, and that's part of what it takes to do something like that. Right? You have to be okay with the fact that some people don't like you. And not everybody's wired for that.
It's literally what Todd McFarlane was talking about, that ICB2
yeah
insider thing.
Yeah. You just have to be okay with it. You have to be convinced that you have to be confident enough that you're right, that it's okay that you're pissing off a bunch of people and making them do something they don't want to do, or doing something that they wish that they could have been involved, whatever. It's hard. It's really hard to get to those positions, and that's why there's so few people who are able to do that. Yeah.
No one likes the person who has the power to say yes but says no. That's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And but and a lot of that comes with age. So it's always interesting to see somebody who's capable of doing that at a younger age, but especially what Todd built as young as he was. That's what's really remarkable about Todd, right? Yeah. I'm over 50 at this point. I like telling people no. It's but when you're young, like you want to say yes to everything. So yeah, it's remarkable.
It really is. The story of this industry is really amazing and fascinating.
It never stops being fascinating for those of us that are wired that way. Yeah. And I'm impressed that you guys have so many people that are interested in this. I got to tell you, I've not had this many people interested in hearing me talk in a long time. I'm really fucking boring. So I appreciate all of you who are still there.
I disagree.
But see, you can be boring in every other aspect of your life, but this is the area of your life, Mr. Friedman, where you are actually extremely interesting. And
otherwise you're boring, Sean said.
Seriously. Yeah, well, you want to talk about gardening and building bamboo structures?
Oh, actually,
I'll go. I'll talk cooking all day long. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
No, but I think that it's a beautiful thing that there are people who love this industry and are deeply passionate about it and want to see it thrive. I hate the people who only have negative things to say about the comics industry, because it's like, well, why are you here?
Yeah,
leave. If you don't like, and it's not, I'm not at gatekeeping. I'm just saying, if you don't like it, if you think there are no good comics, if you think that, the industry's in a bad spot and all that other stuff, there's plenty of things. There's no shortage of things to enjoy.
What are you doing with your life that you're spending your life energy telling us that this sucks? Right? I mean, seriously, you only have so many tweets you can write in a day. Like, let's just say that's all you do in your day is responses on the internet. Why are you picking it on something that you don't like?
Exactly.
Like, pick the thing that you do like and learn more and lean in, because you can make it better. You contributing makes it better. One of the things that I love to do on our weekly live show at the end, it's something that started a few weeks ago, and I've just started to love this moment in it. We talk about saving comics, right? We talk about saving comics all the time. Everybody wants to save comics. I just realized that all of you who show up, right? Everybody who shows up, whether they're buying digitally once a week, Tyler, I don't know how you do that, whatever. But you're showing up at the comic shop, whether you're the comic shop owner who like gets up early and opens the door, and you're sweeping the same goddamn floor every day, and you're doing the counts, and you're doing the orders, and you're opening boxes and all of that. Or you're the distributor who like is going into a warehouse, or lived in a warehouse. They suck. You go into a warehouse every day and you treat these things like the gems that they are. Like you could ruin a comic retailer's week by not giving a shit about how to do your job. But you show up and you do your job, and you do an amazing job of putting things in the boxes and getting it right. Or you're the back end of that distributor and you're dealing with fucking metadata. Is there anything more boring than metadata? And yet you do that right, so that everybody gets to do everything else that they're doing. Or you're the publisher, and not just the sexy parts of publishing, like the editors who get to talk to, writers about what the story is going to be. You're the third assistant editor whose sole job is just to make sure that somebody finally gets that fucking cover in, so that we can get it to the distributor, so that we can sell it, as opposed to just a line item with a to be revealed or whatever. Like all of those people, that's not even counting the incredible artists and writers and inkers and colorists and letterers. God, letterers, you guys save the fucking day so many times.
Hell yeah.
Because you were the last line, and we have to crash on you, and you have to like do this overnight. All of you, every single one of you, shows up and saves comics. And that's not even counting the people like the Comics Pals, right? You guys on the screen, or the people who are showing up and doing reels and doing the things that get people excited about it. Like, you are the ones that are saving comics. Like, say, comics get saved every single week when we finally get shit into boxes, and that gets opened up, and people get to like get excited by opening a piece of paper with staples. That's what saves comics every single week. And it's not the assholes who want to tell us how bad it is. That's not who it is. It's the people who show up. There you go. That's my rant. I'm out.
You got on your soapbox. I love it. Appreciate your words on that subject, Adam. We have only one more thing to do before we get out of here. Well, technically not true because we got to spin the wheel a couple of more times. We owe a couple wheel spins.
Okay.
We just got to play the GOAT game, and then we are free to go. So, Ty, can you get those wheel spins in for us,
Yeah, let's see what we
please?
got. You thirsty? Let's see. Buy or sell?
Okay, so buy or sell is a game where we will present a couple of options, and you've got to buy or sell. So, like if I were to say, for example, do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? Like buy or sell, Coke, Pepsi. You would say buy on Pepsi, sell on Coke. Everybody knows Pepsi's better than Coke.
Coke sells better.
Is that? Yeah, I guess I believe that. That's crazy.
You're talking
Did you
about the
put
drinks?
the goat cover up from
The Quantum
that
Woody?
was from Quantum and Woody, the
Yeah.
talking goat cover? That
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a deep fucking dive there, my
Love
friend.
that series.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So let's say buy or sell on buy or sell on the career. Buy or sell on the career.
Okay.
Let's do Alan Moore.
You're baiting on this one.
And let's do Grant. Let's do Grant Morrison versus Alan Moore.
Oh, you
Buy or
son of a
sell.
bitch.
Ouch.
I've got my answer.
Oh.
All right. We got to define some things here.
So if whoever you choose, the other's career is erased. Don't consider like, oh, well, if
Whoa.
Alan Moore didn't exist, Grant Morrison would. Don't think about that. Just think about how it would impact you and your enjoyment if the works of that person did not exist. That's all.
What's wild is like some of my first forays to actually like getting into comics as like an artistic medium, not just reading it for punching and flying, was Grant's Batman and Watchmen. So fuck you, Sean.
I think I have my answer.
Oh, maybe the guy who wrote Swamp Thing a lot.
Huh?
I'm gonna. Oh shit. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna buy on Grant, sell on Alan Moore. I'm sorry, that's personal preference. Doom Patrol, one of my favorite comics of all time.
Doom Patrol's so good.
All
did you hear
stuff.
they're bringing Sebastian O back? Oh, I
Oh.
fucking love that miniseries. Did you guys? I don't know. Maybe
I didn't
don't.
hear that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You should read that book. It was really good. Anyway, sorry.
I'm a Grant guy. I'm sorry. I need their stuff. I don't think I'm a comics fan without Grant Morrison.
I don't think I'm a comics fan without an Alan Moore. So buying on Moore, selling on Grant.
I'm
Okay.
gonna buy on Grant.
If we're just going my own personal life story, I think I have to buy on Moore and sell on Grant. But man, that's a real tough one. If we're playing like fantasy football, which by the way isn't my other personal pet project. Someday I'm going to do fantasy comics publishing, where we're going to set up an entire app where you get to pick writers and pick artists and put them into your roster, and it'll tell you where you are in the market based on what they're currently producing. Someday I'm getting this done.
Is there
You're
money
an investor?
involved?
Get at me. I know exactly how to do it.
Wait.
All right. Anyway.
Adam, let's talk because there's something working on in the background that I'm doing. Hold on.
Yeah?
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so if we're talking about the career lifetime value, I would probably buy Grant, but for my own personal library, history, I wrote a series of articles about Moore. I can't not. Yeah, there you go.
Sean,
I don't think we have it. I don't think without Moore and Frank Miller and Art Spiegelman, we don't have a comics industry. So
Totally.
Yeah, there you go.
But Sean, if you sold on Moore, that means all your favorite TV and movies aren't made. So
some sacrifices have to be made. I told you I was willing to sacrifice Venom, right? So
it's true.
These are the things that must be done. I buy on Grant Morrison. If their only contribution to comics were their Batman run, I would still buy on Morrison.
Wow.
So
that's fair. It's fair.
I spun it again already, Sean.
Cool.
And it was highlighted book.
Oh, nice. Any of you reading anything
I got
compelling?
I got one. Yeah, I want to shout out Batman Robin Year 1, number 12, final issue. Chris Samnee and Mark Waid's Batman and Robin Year One story. Possibly one of the best final pages in a comic I've read in a long time. I think it really bridges the gap between Batman Year One, the Miller Mazzucchelli, and like how Batman becomes a little happier once Robin's around, and how Dick's influence on him really changes his outlook on life. And there was a narrative way of telling that I thought was masterfully done. I think Chris Samnee is one of the greatest comic artists currently. So
you like that style too. You're
I'm a big, if anything's in the realm of Darwin cookiness, I'm thinking Samnee. I'm thinking like Michael Cho. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I gotta get around to finish. I mean, the issue just came out, but I gotta finish that.
Be a good trade too once it's all collected.
Yeah. Cool. And then as far as the poll goes, buy or sell on Grant Morrison or Alan Moore, 56% of you bought on Alan Moore, or excuse me, bought on Grant Morrison.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So
you guys don't like comics then? You just destroyed the history. So nice job.
Either way.
Even though I did the same thing.
Disappointed in the chat. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. Let me shout out the rest of our patrons. Then we'll play the GOAT game. Then we will say goodbye. You are not free to leave until we say goodbye, chat. So stick around and stay tuned while I say thank you to Amin, the Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Peter, Living Lightning Electrics, Young Dende, Fae Fighter, Dawudi, Shalom, Paladin, Warburg, Cosmic November, Carter, the Owl Shogunate, Steve, Swarm, Canara, Scripture, the Wardens of the Word, Jack of Some Trades, Cloutier, Chris, Cure, Coleman, Emperor MD Johnny, Joel, Justice, and Mad Max Pliskin. Your origin will be coming next week, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you all for your support. You are all incredible and amazing. Now, we owe you a game. The GOAT game. This is a game. Adam, I hope you're willing to play. If you are not, it is totally fine. It is up to you. I will explain it, and if you want to play, that's great. If not, no worries.
I was ready to like sell a title. I was ready to do that, man. But okay, go ahead. Let's go with the GOAT game. Let's get it. Okay.
So the way this works is there's a randomizer that has all of our faces on it, right? And a combination of them. Wherever that lands, that person is responsible for 45 seconds to explain why the character that the randomizer lands on is the greatest of all time. So if it happened to land, on Swamp Thing and Adam Freeman, Adam would have to explain to us for 45 seconds why Swamp Thing is the greatest hero of all time. Are you game for the game?
This is going to be embarrassing, but
it is. It is. I've gotten there a lot, and it's embarrassing. Yeah.
I cannot wait to be embarrassed. Let's go.
You might not be. You might be safe.
I might not be. Yeah, exactly. I'm ready to. I'm a gambler. Let's go.
Where are we at?
Oh, thank God! It's Sean and Marco. Adam, you're safe.
Okay. All right.
We're safe.
So you guys don't have to play. You just get to watch along as Marco and I try to argue for.
We fumble our way through.
Let's see who it is. Cassandra Nova.
Oh!
Damn.
Why is Cassandra Nova the greatest of all time?
I got it. I'm good. Tyler, can you put the timer up, please?
I got it, and I know where you're going to go with this because I picked a very appropriate image for it. Let's see. 45 seconds, right? Not minutes like it did that one time. All right, we're going to go here. 45. Oh my God, what am I doing? You think I know how to use phones by now? All right, let me know when you're ready. I'll hit it when you start talking.
Professor Xavier is the leader of the mutant kind, arguably the greatest leader of men of all time, which means that, of course, his sister, Cassandra Nova, would be the greatest villain of all time. She was born right alongside Professor Xavier, and they tried to murder each other in the womb. Professor Xavier recognized that his sister was so dangerous, so scary, that she could not escape the body of her mother. She did, though. And when she did, she unleashed chaos upon the world. Genosha, where millions upon millions of mutants died, was an atrocity committed by Cassandra Nova, the exact opposite of a savior for mutant kind. She would be their doom and dread. Needless to say, not only is she so dangerous, she's also kind of a looker. She's dragging a wagon behind her, and she's doing it with style and grace. I love me some Cassandra Nova. And it's over? All right. That's my time?
That's your time.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Way to tie a woman's greatness to a man. Nice job, Sean.
That's really good job, buddy.
Yeah.
And you know what? He also didn't fail to tie her greatness to her looks.
Oh,
either.
wow.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Thank you.
impressive.
Listen, this is what I do.
Can I tell you guys a quick story about that goat image that he had up though?
the Tom
Please.
Fowler one? Yeah.
Yeah, that bit. I don't remember. Who
This is giving Marco time to actually figure out who the character is, so that
Okay.
works.
So that goat image was at Valiant, by the way. And if I was going to have to sell a title, it was going to be Harbinger by Joshua Dysart. If you're into superheroes and you haven't read that title, you're missing out. Okay. That was the first part we did. One of our first things that we did at Valiant that was a big sales initiative was nobody knew what QR codes were. But we did was we put on comics, we would just put one image of that character, like a full face image, and you would scan it with your phone. We had to teach everybody how to scan a QR code at the time. Scan it with your phone, it would take you to a YouTube page, and it would sit over the character's mouth and talk for the character. And so it was the world's first talking comic book cover. And so we did a line of these that included the goat, and I can't remember what the goat said. The goat something dumb like blah or something. I don't even remember. But that's what that image was.
Yeah.
It was one of the talking covers that we had. So,
Wow.
there you go.
That's crazy.
That's
what
my
a
old man
coincidence.
story. Yeah.
Huh. All right, Marco, well, you're going to tell
Go.
a story right now about why Cassandra Nova is the greatest villain of all time. Go ahead.
That's right. Got the time going?
Start talking and I'll get it.
All right, ready? Go. And unlike Sean, I will be purely mentioning her looks for this piece. I won't
Vile.
attach her success to that of a man. And I'll continue the theme. She is dragging that wagon, dude. I think so much of the strength of a character in the Marvel universe is not only her villainy, but her confidence in her own skin. So much so
Jesus
that
Christ.
she's had to construct it off the back of her pure will to be able to exist in this plane of existence, and then being able to take over, infiltrate the X-Men is a skill all up
That's it.
upon.
All right, so you just said a whole bunch of horse shit.
Marco,
and
that might have been the worst thing you've ever done on the show.
And he talks
you
slowly.
yeah,
you know?
and you stole my whole bit about Cassandra's wagon.
You had time to Google.
I'm
You could
trying
have
not.
cheated properly.
I'm trying not to, so it kind of like a bigger fire, you know.
Now we've got to pull up who sold you better on Cassandra Nova, me, Marco, or neither one of us.
I forgot
Get your
neither was an
votes
option.
Let us know who you think sold you better on Cassandra Nova. Marco, if you saw her picture without us discussing it, would you have known her name?
Yes. She's popped up in a few of the books we've read recently. So, had you
And
told me maybe last year? No.
What, the one where she was starring villain of Marvel's biggest movie of the year?
Yeah. No, and then we read
Wolverine, Deadpool.
No, something else. I'm specifically talking about the comics that we read.
She's part of 3K. In
No,
X-Men.
She was in
One of the
Marco,
Krakoa
yeah,
books.
I know what Marco's talking about, where she was good.
Yeah,
that
no,
not-
she was in it was the Marauders.
Yes.
Yeah, the new team on Marauders, yeah.
And wasn't she in like Astonishing?
Yeah.
We read that one.
Wait, no, Cassandra wasn't in
No,
Astonishing.
no.
No.
That's Emma.
Real hype content, boys. You guys are doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and end this poll because it's trending in one particular direction.
Oof.
Who sold you better on Cassandra Nova? 53% of you feel that I did. 35% of you feel that neither one of us did, and 12% of you feel that Marco did.
One of these days we'll get Swamp Thing and oof.
I forget if I
barely
even
got a
put Swamp Thing
mandate
in there,
there.
Marco.
You're gonna lose on that day too. That's
Yeah.
the funny shit.
Never. I could never.
Barely got a mandate. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God, super job. Sean doesn't watch comic book adaptations. Are you kidding me? I love them. I think
More than he loves comics. I
Yeah.
think that's what we've come up with, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
my
Okay.
bullshit
Fake
meter
fan.
is going off right now.
Fake fan, Sean.
Listen, I like Civil War, the comic, better than the movie.
Well, that's not saying much.
All right. Yeah, that's fair.
Uh,
I do think that we do. There is one. I do want to go back into the chat and just give a quick highlight to Super Job. The chat are a bunch of morons. I think that's right on top. There you got it, baby.
Got it.
Oh my goodness. Well, you guys have been amazing today. As Adam mentioned earlier, it's so beautiful that you show up and support this kind of a conversation. It's a brilliant thing. So speaking of support what Adam is doing because we're a bunch of jokers. Adam is out there in the streets saving comics. And we need people like him in this world. And thank goodness we have him.
Thank you.
Prana Direct Market Solutions. They're a solution for your business entering into the direct market space. Comics the Magazine. Let your LCS owner know that you are excited for this. When it drops in March, make sure that you are on top of it. January, tell your LCS owner you want that in your pull list. Let them know.
Yeah, I linked to Adam's channel in the chat, but if you're watching after the fact, not live, it is in the description. So
subscribe.
Can I also say I haven't even talked about something we are just starting on Tuesday. So this is something I've been really excited to get started on. We're starting a segment inside of Comic Industry Insiders Live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We sit down and talk about the big headlines that are affecting the comics industry, the nuts and bolts of it, and we bring in experts. We talk about what's happening. We've been covering this Diamond bankruptcy like it was, like it was American politics for everybody else. This has been their thing, but we're starting a new segment. It'll be almost every week going forward. And we're starting off with just the staff of Prana Direct Market Solutions. We have an incredible crew of publishing professionals who work with us. And each one of them is going to give you 10 minutes a week on some mechanical lesson, some understanding, some like deep dive. We're calling it Comics MBA. And it is our way of talking about the business of comics, the nuts and bolts. And I am so excited to start this off. Blake does Blake's Buzz, if you've ever watched that.
Yeah.
Blake works for us and does all of our crowdfunding work. We have a number of different, we've done a number of crowdfunds over the years. I think we average about $63,000 for our crowdfunding funding. So he does incredible work, and he's going to get into how creators should be thinking about giving their product away for free, and how free is the ultimate. Free Comic Day, you talked about that being an incredible piece of work. Free is the ultimate marketing piece, and how sometimes you just need to build an audience first, right? You need to build an audience first. There are two things that will impact your career in comics. If you're a comics creator, it's the quality of your work and the audience who comes with you wherever you go. And he's going to give us a quick deep dive on that every week from, I think, something like the next 8 weeks or something like that. We're going to be talking about a different piece. And it's going to be, sometimes it'll be metadata, how to build that. Sometimes it'll be how to talk to retailers. Sometimes it'll be how to deal with publishers or printers. It's all, we're going to be getting into the real nuts and bolts of this. And it's something I'm so excited about. I personally own comics.mba. So at some point we may be doing like a comics experience kind of thing out of that. I haven't decided yet, but I'm so excited for it. I want you guys on board with this. If I know that you guys are already watching, and I see you in the chat, and I appreciate that, but cool. Yeah, there we go. This Tuesday.
Everyone should subscribe this Tuesday. I will be there. You should be too. It's going to be a ton of fun. Blake is a great guy, Blake's Buzz, and he very much loves this industry. So I've never met him. I just know him through, knowing stuff, and he's great. So that's awesome.
And before we sign off, can I get number 10 from Marco? What is this I'm holding right here, buddy?
Sorry, number 10.
What is this? Number 10. You haven't done your 10.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh,
okay.
Don't forget.
There what is, Marco?
There's Comics the Magazine.
There we go.
All right.
There it is. Adam, thank you so much. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was gonna say Marco's edging that the whole show. Finally came
That's
out.
right.
Waiting
Oh,
at the end. Got to get that inside back cover.
that's
Thank
right.
you so much for giving us your time. It's been
Yeah.
incredible as always to get to chat with you. And, we will see you hopefully on this channel again soon.
Dude, this is so much fun. I forget how much fun this is. So, have me back anytime. It was a good time.
Awesome.
Cool.
To everybody else, we will see you on Monday for Pals Previews, Tuesday for the David Harper interview, Thursday at 8 p.m. for Pals Pulls, and then before you know it, we're right back here on Saturday at 10:15 for this show. Thank you for watching.